Hello, everybody! Why is there two of me? Wait, what? Why is there two? Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. That's why. Ha 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 ha. Don't worry about that. You saw nothing. Hello, everybody. How are you all today? Hi. We're going to have a good time. I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff we're going to be watching today. Seeing double, look, there's never enough of me, all right? We needed two. They're multiplying at the Flammenwerfer. It's an Alpha Legion double trouble. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I know this is later than my normal YouTube streams. I'm still trying to figure out like where the good little spot for YouTube is. I was gonna go on Twitch today, and I'm like, I kind of want to know about the orcs. I'm kind of excited to learn about them. So I'm like, let's go over here. Let's see how the YouTube goes. Let's have a fun time on this site, and work from here. It's fine, right? We always need more Tetra. I am Alfarius. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I will learn. First time in this stream, I saw one of your TikToks speaking how your community loves. Dude, I have a first of all, we can't even argue it in the YouTube community. My YouTube community, as far as like my active chatters, has like, I don't know, been completely indoctrinated by this category. The amount of conversations that I do not understand in this chat are through the roof. I came from the TikTok. Yeah, oh my god, they did come from the TikTok. Dude, we are getting the craziest crossover I never thought that I was going to get so far, right? Because I am typically a Twitch streamer, and then I dabbled onto TikTok. No, I go by she, her. So I started out as a Twitch streamer, right? I was there exclusively. I eventually branched out, over to TikTok, right? And then I also went over to YouTube. Now, my YouTube, I didn't really put a lot of work into. I didn't put a lot of effort into long form. I started dabbling in a couple different things. I just learned this channel existed. Well, hello, hi, nice to meet you. So it's just really funny now because I would have people from TikTok come over to Twitch. I'd have some people from YouTube come over to Twitch. It's weird for me now being on YouTube having people come over from TikTok. So it's just, it's really interesting how it's all kind of come full circle. But I'm just happy about it. Don't worry, I am the Alfarius line is both an inside joke and a meme. Everything is a meme in this community. I don't understand half of the memes. I'm learning, I swear. Oh my goodness. What else though? I have a couple different things to tell you guys about. That guy's Alpha. Okay, well I guess I'm gonna learn will I learn in this video? Will I learn in this video what the Alfarius are? Because I'm also super curious if my favorite is going to be, also just so you guys know, all the conversation that we have here in like what are we gonna call this? Like the precursor to the React, this stuff won't be in the long form that I upload to the channel. Because somebody was angry in my comments in the last one. They're like, this is a repost. I'm like, no, I make a shortened, easier version without all of the extra talking for everybody in the live section, or for after the live section. Most likely not, as that would be likely Space Marine faction video. Okay, I mean, then we'll have to learn in the future. I love your renditions of the. Thank you so much. What the hell? No, seriously, the comments telling me that they liked how I did the corn quote made me really happy. It made me really happy. The Bricky Space Marine Legion video will cover the Alfarius meme. Okay, so then I'll watch that one too. Then where is Omegon? I don't know what that is. Hello. Hi, Bran. How are you? For Alfarius, you need to watch the Space Marine Legions video. I will have to. Yeah, Valkia. Yeah. The quotes were so good. You guys are so sweet. Holy crap. You guys flatter me way too much. Don't let my mods tell me I told you so. They were DMing me like, I told you so. I'm like, no, you're biased. You don't get to tell me this. Tetra and chatters, make sure you're in live chat and not top chat. Ooh, I am in top chat. You're right. Thank you. Oh, that just changed everything. Oh my goodness. Your own voiceovers for the quotes were actually really. Thank you. Okay, do you guys want me to do them again? Like, do you guys want me to be cringe and do them again? I thought you guys were gonna think I was more cringe than Bricky. There are 2 missing Primarchs that did something so bad they got. Alfarius is Omegon, or are they? I don't know. I don't know. Why not? Okay. Oh, okay. I want to hear an orc quote. Oh, I'm gonna screw that up so bad. I'm clueless. I'm so clueless with all of this stuff. Also, question for you guys. I think it was Anubis who said, well, we're gonna have to find out. But do we think that I'm going to have a new favorite after this one? Because so far, while I don't have any intention of making a little mini army, if I did, one, it would be on stream. And two, right now, the only contender for it, from what I have learned, is Necron flayed ones with Hello Kitty skins. That is the only thing that is even remotely in my wheelhouse right now. So I'm curious if something in this video is gonna take the spot as being more desirable. Yes, there are more Xenos, and Xenos are superior. Orc quotes are basically a British guy talking to his mate. Oh no. Spider-Man pointing meme. You'll get favorites when you deep dive. This is a sample platter. I mean, yeah, I saw the Labubu flayed ones that you were talking about the other day too. Orcs are them. I love the orcs. To be fair, I know nothing about them other than the fact that they just gaslight themselves into like having psychic powers, basically. Or they already have the psychic powers, but then they just kind of don't know that they have the psychic powers, right? I mean, I'm gonna learn more, but right now, that's kind of the general idea that I have. Hey, we Brits do more than that. We like to... What is crump? What is crump? Also, for all of my new British viewers, you are going to, if you ever do come over to my Twitch, or maybe we'll end up doing it over here. I don't know how I'm going to start structuring my live streams over here if I start doing it more often. Because if the Warhammer community ends up sticking around for more than just Warhammer, I'll always keep on adding more Warhammer for you guys if that's what you like. But like other things like playing Scrandle with chat and all that stuff that I normally do exclusively over on Twitch, I have no problem starting to do over here as well, because I was going to tell you guys some exciting news. We do have to wait. We still have to wait a little bit, but it does look like I'm gonna be able to get YouTube partner. Somebody found me on the other site. Somebody found me on the other site. Favorite Chaos God? Corn, the skulls for the Skull Throne, blood for the blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. That's my favorite one so far. I'm very anti-Slanesh. That was me. Thank you so much, Bicho. Thank you. We love proper British crumpet. What does it even mean? Okay, I will let you guys know I did a poll for and milk for the cornflakes. Yes. I did a poll for what you guys want as the next scripted short, and you guys want it to be about Nurgle loving me. So I'm gonna have to research Nurgle no matter what I want to do. I'm sure you guys are gonna get the little chibi in the jar in that skit somewhere. So we'll figure that one out when we get there. Abandon reason, no only war. Yes. Well, now my new favorite character is the one that you guys told me to voice act. What was her name? Valkia? That she's my new favorite character in all of Warhammer universe, because you're like, oh yeah, you'd be a great voice actor for. I'm like, oh, I love you and thank you. I saw clean Nurgle. No, I heard that's really bad to do. I heard looking up clean Nurgle is something you're not supposed to do. Korn and Slanesh don't get along. Korn finds Slanesh things dishonorable. Looking up sassy Nurgling, no, I don't want to. Bro, Valkia is a badass. But now that isn't that different than 40K, right? Isn't that like Warhammer Fantasy? Now, is that the same universe still? Right? It's still the universe, but it's older. It's older lore, right? Poor goddess Isha trapped by Nurgle. Yeah, I've seen the jar stuff. Remember Tetra, there is Korn, Karn, and King. What? It's a different universe? Oh my god! It's not clear whether it's the same universe. Oh my god, dude, you guys are hurting my brain. So anyway, I keep on getting sidetracked, and again, this is why I kind of like don't leave this conversation stuff in the edited version, because everybody's like, you have ADD, stop talking to everybody, blah blah blah, because then when I do the recording and I post it as the actual long form video, they don't see the chat, so it just looks like I'm schizophrenic and I'm just sitting here talking to a bunch of nothing. It's terrible. It's so bad. They both have the same chaos god, which makes things confusing. Dude, everything in the Warhammer universe is confusing. Everything in the universe so far is confusing. But I will say, aside from getting distracted like a million times over, couple things that I want to point out. One, like I said, once we get the YouTube partnership, I already have tons of emotes, like with my Twitch, on Twitch. So I'll be able to give you guys some really good emotes right away for members. Obviously, I have to wait until it updates. It technically should already update, but for some reason, my analytics stopped on the 27th, probably because of all the influx of new people. So I have to wait a couple more days before I can apply and do all that stuff. So I'm excited for that with you guys. In addition to that, I am going to try, once we do the actual watch-along part, I'm going to try to, one, maintain pausing. I'm going to pause more because I let longer swaths of time go without interjecting, because people were saying that that I actually did less than the first one, but almost too much compared to the first one, because I didn't even pause in the first video, which upset a lot of people. So now this one, I'm going to try to pause more often, and I'm also going to try to talk a little bit slower, because I know that I talk very fast, and I saw a bunch of comments that said I had to check to see if I had my YouTube playback speed going too high. Or if they thought that it was set to like ×2 or 1.5. I didn't realize I talk that fast, but apparently I do. And I am sorry. I really am. It's just how I speak. I can try. I promise you I can try. Everything I do as a content creator for you guys, I promise you I take criticism. I try to listen. I try to learn. I want to give you guys a good experience. With how much lore there is, it's good to pause and digest it. Plus, we're here to see your opinion and thoughts. I mean, right now, I think that the Necrons have the most interesting story. It's really stupid, and I love it. I hate the Eldar. What is it called? What are the really unhinged? Drukhari. See, I remember names. I'm remembering. I didn't take notes, but I'm remembering. The Drukhari are the most horrifying things in the universe. Okay. I have an idea. I'm not gonna do this, but my friend who loves Warhammer, his dream would be to me to play a game with him, right? Like, he would be so excited to have me play a game with him. Now, I don't know anything. At least, you know, I don't know a lot, but I was like, if I ever play you, I am going to make a Drukhari army. And I'm also going to have a bunch of miniatures of couches and other pieces of furniture. And every person on your team that I kill, I'm going to replace with one of these furniture pieces. Just so you know that your Space Marine became a couch. I don't know why, but it just sounds really funny. It just sounds really funny. Drukhari are just little funny guys. That is such an unhinged... Even I know that that's an unhinged statement, and I know nothing about Warhammer. Slanesh would love that. Drukhari, you're just misunderstood. Oh my god. Just Goofy Goober, just whoopsie, turned you into a couch. My bad. Oh, you're about to die. Gotta refurnish you. Gotta make sure that heart keeps beating while I sit on you. Harlequins are funny little guys. I learned about the Harlequins. Aren't the Harlequins, like, completely neutral? Like, they just jump and assist even the humans? To be fair, someone made jokes about making gummy models to eat as a Tyranid play. Okay, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny, too. I'd only want to play Felinids. It's not a phase, Mom! We're all Goofy Goobers here? Oh my god. That's like the Corn player that just charged and would shadow box to intimidate his opponents in real life. I love that. I love the level of... Okay, I mean this as a genuine compliment. Please, Warframe nuts, do not take this as a slight. I love how psychotic you all are. I love how insane the Warhammer community is when it comes to ridiculous, over-the-top nonsense for your builds. Tetra, you need to play Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader and Space Marine. So crazy enough, I believe I actually own the Space Marine game. I own quite a few Warhammer games, but I've never touched them. They sit in my Steam library because, you know, I work with game companies, right? So they do provide me with keys to a lot of these games. I've also been gifted some over time, so I have quite a few of them. I just haven't played them yet. It's not Warhammer if it's not over the... Okay, fair. Totally fair. There was a player who painted himself green whenever he went to tournament. Okay, that person is now my favorite. I love that. Could that person just like also pretend that they had Wah? Could someone dressed as an orc during a tournament just be like, they just believe that a moon comes crashing in, grabs a baseball and smash it on the table? Or is that like against the rules? Because that would be really funny. They shout Wah. Warhammer is actually really good community as long as you don't go to Twitter. Many don't know how to read. So my honest take on the Warhammer community right now, 99% of you guys have been some of the most lovely people I've had the pleasure of getting to meet on YouTube. YouTube has actually been a very rough climb for me because originally I was a Monster Hunter creator. I still am a Monster Hunter creator in a lot of ways, but I play variety, right? But when I did Monster Hunter content, I did get hit with a lot of controversial people. They didn't like my takes on weapons, and people were very toxic very quickly. You guys have been like, oh, welcome in, we love you, oh my god, you're so much fun, we want you to get to enjoy this, we want you to be able to try this, have you seen this, blah, 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 blah. Really pleasant, welcoming community. Then there's a few gatekeepers that come out of nowhere. Very, very strong opinionated people. They're very few and far between, but my goodness, they managed to... Okay, jumping around a little bit with this. I want to ask you guys this. Do you all notice that the majority of that gatekeeper group are all like those pseudo-intellectual fedora tippers? So they're not directly rude to you. They write these really like pseudo-annoying ways of trying to insult you. Like someone said something to me, right? And they're like, why do you call out comments that go against what you say while 99% of people are nice to you? It's very Twitter-like. I would say even a Twitter addict-like. And it's like, buddy, I don't care how far your head is up your ass. My useless flayed one army would still kick your butt. Even though I don't know anything about this game, because my flayed army will still beat you. I don't care about the rules, my army would beat you. Don't care. I don't even have an army, it would still beat you. Because I believe in it. Okay? Every time. The gatekeepers are our filters to prove if you got the guts to join. Dude, I literally come from the Monhunt community, which is just as bad, just not as big of a community. Believe me, I have been dragged through the mud. I have been dragged through the mud by people. I am not really too scared of this group. You guys have been really nice. You guys have been really cool. The Grognard? What's a Grognard? They probably play out. Oh my god. Please. Okay, tell me if you guys think this is a good response. Just please. Would you guys think that it is I'm gonna actually ask you guys to do this with me. If we ever catch anybody doing this in the comment section where they're just nasty for no reason, can we just all spam that they like Eldar? Can we just say that they absolutely love Eldar? Because that's not hateful in any way of us, but it's just only Warhammer people would be offended by that. And I feel like that's like the best like FU we could ever give to dumbasses. Fine by me. I love you all. That's gonna be you know what? That's gonna be the meme in the community. I am deciding it right now, as even though I am not inherently a quote-unquote Warhammer creator, I am gonna say anytime we see a mean person, we just tell them that, we just say that they're an Eldar lover. Yeah, I bet it is. Do you like jazz vibes? Best way to deal with gatekeepers in Warhammer is just ask to see their models. Why? Do they do bad paint jobs? Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure some people like that. But the thing is, I kind of what is the name of the all black the all black Space Marines? Because I noticed that the gatekeepers tend to all play that one. They all tend to be that group. A lot of people like Eldar. I'm sure a lot of people like Eldar. But some YouTubers are Eldar Black Templar. Yeah. The people who seem to gatekeep love the Black Templars. That's the one or Death Watch. Whatever one, I don't know. I don't know. I think people would be upset if you said, wait, really? Wait. Are Tau more unlike than Eldar? Oh, Jesus. Why? What's wrong, Geo? What's wrong? The tracks, Deus Vault crowd? Salamander? No, but everybody seemed to like salamanders. True Reddit Deus Vault vibes? I love Black Templars because they're the worst and it's fun. No, a lot of chill people like Black Templars. I just tend to notice that the people who are like really gatekeepy are Black Templar fans. It's like it's one of those things. It's like causation, not correlate, or correlation, not causation. Right. Tau players are weebs. Wait, why are they? Wait, wouldn't the weebs be the craft world Eldar, the ones that are based off Bushido? Tau are universally not. Wait, really? Really? I didn't know that. I had no idea. Well, if Sathiel... Okay, that's... Okay. For anybody who doesn't know this, what Apocalypse just said made a lot of sense. If Sathir likes Tau, we know most people hate it. So Sathir is a very, very prominent member of my community over on Twitch. Love him dearly. He is... How would I describe him? He is the antithesis of my being sometimes. Anything that I love... Or anything I despise, I should say, he tends to love. He loves to go against the grain. He loves to go against the grain. So, like, for example, and again, this is going to trigger a whole bunch of people. He is a massive pineapple on pizza lover. I'm very milquetoast on this. Even being the way I am, being a snob with pizza, I think pineapple on pizza is, get ready for this, whatever. I don't like it. I don't care. It doesn't offend me. Crazy take, right? I'm in the middle. Could I eat a pizza with pineapple on it? Yes. Is it what I'm gonna go for? No. I'm a traditionalist as a New Yorker, right? Like, I prefer having a traditional plain pizza with pepperoni. You know, that's what I like, right? I don't judge people for what they like on their pizza, though. I'm not gonna gatekeep pizza, just like I don't want to be gatekept out of Warhammer. Wow, bully dogs. You know what? And you're gonna be blocked from the community. That's so cool. Oh my goodness. Tau and the Lore are the youngest race. Oh my goodness. Bye. I didn't even see what your other message was, but I don't particularly care. See, that also happens a fair bit. I have eaten pineapple on pizza. It's not bad, but see, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Look, I have friends from the Netherlands who put canned tuna on their pizza, and that offends me far more. Far more. You know, Jeremy, you know what? You're not inherently wrong. I think we can all agree that vanilla ice cream is the superior ice cream out of the basic... Okay, wait. Yes and no. If and only if the strawberry ice cream does not have the chunks in it. Because I do not like the little frozen chunks of the strawberries. I think strawberry is better. Like, smooth strawberry ice cream, I think, is better than vanilla. But only if it does not have those annoying little strawberry chunks in it. I can't stand those. If I have it, I want it with that. I love strawberry chunks. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Deep dish Chicago, New York, New York cornmeal? Oh, New York or cornmeal. Oh no, my favorite pizza is always gonna be your traditional Brooklyn style pizza. That is my favorite. I love Neapolitan, I love margarita pizzas. Chicago style is not my cup of tea. I don't like my pizza where I have to eat it with a fork and a knife. However, I don't mind Detroit-style pizza. Detroit-style pizza is okay as well. But I love New York pizza. New York pizza was always going to be my number one. Pepperoni and jalapeno. That actually doesn't sound bad at all. Tau remind me of the Covenant from Halo, if you know. Yeah, no, I'm a massive Halo fan. I grew up on Halo. I love it. My favorite game, though, is a bit off the normal grain. My favorite Halo game is ODST, but my second favorite game would be Reach. But I love Halo. Frozen chunks are what make strawberry. No, fight me. We're not talking. No. If this is gonna be an argument, I refuse. Strawberry chunks have no place in the ice cream. No. After watching these videos, are you considering reading the novels? So my issue is that I'm not much of a book reader, right? When I have spare time, I tend to work, I tend to edit. So I really don't have time for it. I'm not opposed to audiobooks. Right? If everything's on audiobook, I have no problem with it, but I usually have a lot of things that I like to do. I don't like staying idle, and I'm not someone who can sit still long enough to read. That's just the way I am. I can't help it. But yeah, no, I'm not opposed to it. I like cornmeal since I'm from the Pacific Northwest. That's totally fair. Cookie dough with cookie dough chunks. Okay. This is where everybody's gonna hate me. This is where the comment section is gonna turn against me. I don't like cookie dough. I just don't like cookie dough. I'm sorry. It needs to be cooked. I don't like raw cookie dough. Do you have Audible? I think Yura has it. She might, so I'll have to look into that. Brutal Kunin is an orc book and has really good audiobook. Okay, I'll look into it. I'm pretty sure comments are on, right? Even on the live stream. If you ever have a suggestion, you can always leave it there. Because if you guys notice on all my videos, I literally will like every single comment that I read, because I try to let you guys know that I actively see what you're sending me. I always want you guys to... No, I haven't even started yet. We're just kind of talking and shooting the breeze right now. But welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, so I try to read every single comment that you guys leave me. Even in chat, even while we're doing the watch along, right? I still try my best to read everything you guys say. And if it's something that's pressing, I'll pause and address it. Because I want you guys to feel like you're part of a community. Even all of you new people who came here because you love Warhammer and you're like, oh, I want to see this new random VTuber. I want their reaction on something I love. I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel welcome and have a good time. I used to listen to Harry Potter audiobooks as a kid, use cassette tapes. It was hilarious when batteries went low and it sounded like the narrator was having a stroke. Dude, okay. I am a big fan of vintage tech, and I know I don't mean this to make you feel old with it, because it's been a while since the tape decks have been out. I desperately want to get a cassette player to add to my collection of old stuff. I have a vinyl player too, right? I'm a lion. My model is a lion. Halo Spartan versus Space Marine, who wins? I mean, that's really tough, even with the little I understand about the Space Marines. I mean, the Chief, I would assume, would win because he has a superpowered AI with him, and the Space Marines are part of a sect that don't believe in AI, right? So, I would think the Chief would win, but it's a difference of what, like 9 feet versus 12 feet? I don't really know if the Chief's armor is stronger than Space Marine armor. Again, as I learn more about Warhammer, I'll probably be able to give you a better opinion. Don't call cassettes old. I'm sorry. Isn't a Spartan the size of a Space Marine leg? Wait, no, Chief's 9 feet tall, I thought. Chief's 9 feet tall? No, a normal Spartan, Chief is Spartan, was he? He's Spartan 2? None of the Spartan 3s would be able to do it at all. None of them would have been able to do it at all. Chief would probably be able to, but I would think only him. But not a named Marine. So are the named Marines like the equivalent of like Chief in the Halo universe? Like they're just really insanely powerfully dangerous people? Or are they just like, are Space Marines that are named, are they more powerful or are they just more renowned? Firstborn are 7 to 8 feet, while Primarchs are 8.5 to 9 feet. Wait, but that's the same height as Chief, right? Isn't that the same height as Chief? My opinions is that the Spartan wins, but that would depend on what chapter and role they have. Okay. So in a battle of 1v1, would nameless Salamander be able to go toe to toe with Master Chief? Because the Salamanders are big guys, right? From what I remember. Like, they're just generally bigger because the Primarch themselves was big. With an AI on their side, Spartan wins every time. That's what I would think, right? Like, I would think that having Cortana, Chief is around 7 feet. Okay, sorry. Named characters, no matter who they are, have plot armor thicker than God in Warhammer plots. Okay. Chief would get hosed by a chapter master? Really? Okay, but for everybody who's saying Chief would get hosed, are you factoring in that Chief is... Also, one other thing, just jumping back, so I was thinking about this. I'm going to get a widget for YouTube chat to show up on this screen when we, for when we start talking and stuff like that, before we do the reacts next time. I didn't add it today, because I was originally planning to stream on Twitch today. So, we're just improvising a little bit, so I just want to let you guys know it's coming. But now, when you guys are talking about Chief, are we factoring in Chief with Cortana, or are we factoring in Chief by himself? Like, that's the question, right? Because Chief in Infinite is pretty damn strong. I also need to make sure I turn that off once we go into the react, because that's from Twitch. But thank you very much, Hilly Billy, for the follow over on Twitch. If you guys want, I do stream over there almost every day as well. Chief would bring a whole squad with him. He's not beating a chapter master. Really? It's that serious? Now, is that based on, like, any weapon specifically? Like, do we think that like like an energy sword, right? Do we think that any of the plasma weapons of the Covenant, do we think any of that could get through the armor of a Space Marine? Because I don't know. I don't know. Like, fundamentally, I have no idea. If both get to use their weaponry, I'd say Salamanders, because their flamethrowers will mess with the energy shield and make Chief lose his main advantage. Okay, that's a pretty fair assessment. People overhype the Imperium compared to other groups. Really? Is it just because people really like it? Because it's like the face of the franchise? Are we talking lore? Probably lore. Like, if we're talking about like if we're talking about Chief in like Halo lore, I feel like then we'd be comparing it to the lore of Warhammer, right? I honestly think it depends. Malum Cato would obliterate Chief, but Chief could beat Titus. So who's Titus? Who's Titus? Because I have no idea. I don't know who Malum Cato is either. Again, I'm trying to absorb all of this as I can. Because like you guys are talking to me as the experts of the topic of all of Warhammer. I am someone who has a very entry-level understanding of Warhammer and a good understanding of Halo. If Chief has Cortana, he wins. He needs the... Oh god. So chat's going so fast. Titus is the GOAT, but who is Titus? Wait. Titus is the protagonist of the Space Marine game. Oh, really? Really? So the most recent Space Marine game, we play as Titus? I really want to play that one. I'm not going to lie. That one definitely appeals to me a lot. It looks really cool. It looks really, really cool. One of my my longtime viewers was like, I will carry you through the game. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But Titus is named Ultramarine. So wait, is Ultramarine a rank of the Space Marines? Basically Doom... Ooh. Oh, that's another one! Okay, would Doomslayer be able to beat these guys? Because Doomslayer is a whole different universe of strength, right? Like, he's basically... Titus wins against Doomslayer? Yes? Wait, yes to Titus winning? Or Ultramarines are a whole legion? Oh, okay. Doomslayer would fit perfectly in 40k. Yeah, I would say he definitely is the most 40k coded character in modern gaming. Chief needs Cortana to compensate for literal centuries of combat experience. Doomslayer would slay demons. Doomslayer wins every time. Doomslayer's lore is BS. His lore is just, I win except for the few times I don't. I just like that he gets really angry and that makes him more powerful, right? So you have like, what was it? I mean, this is a bit of a spoiler from the new game, but like he gets his butt kicked, right, by the Prince of Hell, and then the Prince of Hell kills his dragon that tries to save him, and he gets so angry that you killed his dragon, he goes John Wick on this guy and just ruins his day. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. The problem with Doomslayer is he would power Korn way too much. I love that. He's canonically immortal. Yeah. I remember he was sent to the River Styx, right? And they had to like summon him back. He would end up like that one orc that Korn was fighting for eternity. Wait, really? He went on a crusade because of his pet bunny. Yeah. That's what started the whole thing. I remember. I'm a big fan of Halo as well, but a Space Marine would beat Chief, not easily though. See, I'm sure that there's somebody who sat there and like actually ran the diagnostics of who would win on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go and watch these videos. And if they exist, we'll watch them on stream. Tuska the Orc. Dude, I want to learn so much. You guys give me so many things I need to learn. Wait until you find out about Corvus Corax's spawn camping the warp. There's an entire planet of orcs stuck. Also, to everybody else who came in, because I know for everybody who is lurking, as opposed to people who are chatting, we are gonna start the watch along, probably like another 5 minutes or so. I'm having a good time getting to talk with all of you, and we're gonna start that, and I think it's like what, 2 hours long again? I believe it's like 2 hours long again. It will probably take at least 3 hours to get through because I'll be pausing, talking, and stuff like that. So just plan accordingly if you want to lurk, if you want to hang out and chat. I'm going to do my best to read everything in the comments as well. I'm going to tell you guys this. Probably not going to be able to churn out the edited version until tomorrow, considering that by the time we end tonight, because it's 4:30 my time now, there's no way we're finishing this before 7:30, and then I have to do all of the fun little editing, right? So after that's all said and done, yeah, so tomorrow probably we'll have the other version of this where this part's all cut out. I'll have a nice little neat intro, and it will just run through as a clean viewing experience. If that's your cup of tea, you could just wait for it on the channel. But yeah, just giving you guys a heads up that that will be a thing. Check Discord for a quick little dirty setup. Well, we're going to be going over to the watch along, and I don't want it showing during the watch along, right? Because I figure if I have it, I figure if that's on the screen, that's going to take away, right? That's going to take away from the from like the viewing experience. So I'll add it to the next one. Tetra is to take her time like a responsible adult. Do you think we're actually going to complain? Well, you'd be surprised. Wait, really? Okay, so serious question to everybody who's here. Would you prefer to have chat active on the screen for the react? Like, I have no problem doing that, but I feel like you guys would have a lot more flaring on the screen when I do that. So I would assume that yes, yes, and no. Okay, so hell yeah, no. Okay, so it's your call. See, that's tough. That's really tough. It's like I always find it distracting. Up to you, nah, eh. It seems to be right along the fence, leaning no. It seems okay. So tell me if you guys like this setup for future streams then. So for future streams, we'll have the chat on screen on the side, right? We'll have so on the left side of me, or on my right, your left, right? On the left side, we'll have chat running when I'm talking to you like this. But once we go into React content, I'll either make it small or get rid of it. Better for VOD. It's better for VOD to be there. As long as it's too big, it's nice to see what you're responding to in chat. Okay. I would say no as long as you read out something that catches your attention. Yes. Exactly, do a poll. Small. It'd be better for vids so we can see the comments you're talking to. See, that is true. That is true. All right, let me see what Penn sent me. Let me try to set something up really quickly. What'd you give me? Oh God, what? Wait. All right, Penn is more tech savvy than me. I have to just read what he wrote. Okay, to do this. Okay. Penn, that's already confusing for me. I might need to do this for the future ones. I might need to do this for future ones. Just patch the kernel drivers, Penn, probably. Okay. Sorry, I'm stuttering now. Geez, I'm trying to keep up with chat while understanding what you did. So I'm trying to look at it, but I'm looking at it super quickly. We could do this, then below in this, copy this of the file below and paste. I don't think you're saying Jesus girly pop like I should really know this. I'm sorry. I am not tech savvy. This is why I don't like Mechanicus, okay? Oh my God. You guys heard how I handled my printer yesterday. The thing was literally spazzing out because I was saying I don't like the machine god. And it was like, well, I'm going to possess your printer. Draw and paint what you want to explain. Oh my God. You must appease the no, we do not appease the machine spirit. Okay. I think what we're going to do for this video, is we're going to leave it as is, like I have for the previous two, because nobody's really had a problem with it. Fun fact, the cherubs you saw last reaction are actually VAT-grown servitors and are respected. Wait, what? What? Okay. Before I get more distracted, because I do read the comments that I respond to, so I think we'll be fine. So, future streams, if we put it on the actual screen, it will be small, but we'll definitely add it to this just chatting segment, so you guys will get to see all of that here. As for the actual video, I'll figure it out and see what works and what looks nice. I can look at some of my peers and see how they have it structured, because I want to make sure that you guys enjoy it. I want to make sure that the most amount of people get to enjoy it. So I might do a poll on the community tab, because you guys actually respond to the polls in the community tab, which I love. So I'll probably work along those side. Yeah, okay. Penn, I'll probably just talk with you like afterwards to figure that out, because again, it's not that it's probably very simple what you're explaining, but trying to do it off the cuff in my peripheral vision is not the play. It's not the play. 20-year lore master here, and I'll be adding whatever I can. No, please do. You guys are always welcome to put as much lore as you want in chat. I may not be able to catch or understand all of it, but I will do my best, and if I do read your comment, I will probably read your comment first. So that way people who do watch the video understand that I'm reading something in chat. They'll also see me looking over to the side, so that's usually a proponent to it. Funny thing about the Imperial Guard, the dog ranks higher than guardsmen, and you could be shot for trying to pet them because they're all officer. Oh. Oh. I love that. I love that. Is the lore master Alfarius too? I can't wait to learn what the Alfarius is. There are no wolves on I know, I hate... Somebody asked me, why do I hate Fenris? And I'm like, because I learned there are no wolves on Fenris. That's why I hate the Fenris. Bug lore nerd here, and that's not much. Bricky goes hard into them. Well, I'm looking forward to them. That's Tyrannid, right? I'm really looking forward to Tyrannid and ORKS. Those are the ones that I'm really looking forward to learning about. But so far right now, Necron are probably my favorite that I've learned about. Specifically the flayed ones. Just because they're terrifying. And I think that there's a lot of memes that could be put there. We should watch Fran's Star Wars versus 40K. I'm open to all of these things. Again, like I will tell you guys, if you have suggestions for what you want me to watch, please leave them in the comments, because I will always look at every single comment. At this stage, even though there's sometimes hundreds of comments, I have been going through every single one of them, and I try to respond if I understand. But I always let you know that I read it. I always let you know that I read it. Remember the red ones go faster? True, true. But I've also learned that the purple ones were a gaslight, which kind of upsets me. Tyrannids are just Zerg, if you know. Yeah. No, I know StarCraft. I know StarCraft. The Zerging is always fun. I played a little bit of StarCraft, not a ton, but I did enjoy the Zerg. I don't know what kind of girl you are, but 70% of the time I see them thirst for Tyranids. Okay, I will say, one of the reasons why I actually really am open to watching Bricky and learning all this stuff is because I do really love Matara, who, of course, thinks she's a Tyranid queen. I am definitely leaning more towards the stupidity of ORKS as what I like, but I also really like the Egyptian space terminators. She is the queen, what do you mean? I'm sorry, Yura, I'm sorry. Zerg were supposed to be Tyranids, but the Game Workshop backed out of the game. Tyranids are cool, but I'm in love with the Gene Stealers. Thank you for the follow on the other site, Geister. Matara is truly a Norn queen. I will have to learn. I'll have to learn. Hell yeah. Do you think we have a third video mentioning the... No, we don't need the Gangoom's a cunt Satan again. We don't need it again. By the way, Warcraft and StarCraft originally... Yeah. People have been telling me that. People have been telling me that one. I've learned a lot. I've legitimately learned a lot from this community before we even start this. I will say thank you guys, because I know more about Warhammer in, 3 days than I ever thought I would know. I never thought I would learn about these things, but it's pretty interesting. Would also love to see, well, now I really, because of Valkia, I want to learn Warhammer Fantasy, especially after you guys wanted me to voice her, and I was like, yeah. But other than that, you know, are you Alfarius? Wrong answer only. I don't know what that means yet. Thank you guys for the follow on Purple Site. If you guys want to follow over there, I do stream, like I said, every day over there usually. Today I chose to stream over here for you guys because I know you guys really want the Warhammer content. I will be turning off the notification for it once we switch over to the React. Neither do we. Alfarius is KGB of Warhammer. Really? You should check out Warhammer. I saw that. Okay, sorry. I'm reading through the comments so quickly I'm rereading. I'm apologizing. They effed a god into existence. If you need any suggestions, I say the last church. It takes place during the Unification Wars. I need to learn what the Unification Wars are first. Thank you for the follow, Geomation. Thank you. Warhammer Fantasy lore is awesome, but it's less. I feel like it has less reception on YouTube, doesn't it? 40K seems to be where the base. Thank you for the follow, Dragon Magic. Cough, blood for the blood god. Skulls for the Skull Throne. From you watching Warhammer, I am getting more into Warhammer. No, I'm sorry. It's not supposed to be how it works. I'm not supposed to be influencing people into going into Warhammer. It's supposed to be the other way around. Before you start the main react, can I send you a short video to react to? Sure. Sure. What video is it? It's spreading. 4K is easy. 40K is easier to understand than how is 40K easier to understand than fantasy? How is that possible? Total Warhammer 3 Champions of Chaos Valkia. Oh, you want me to watch this on stream? The video for Valkia? I mean, I can if you guys want me to. Do you think that the chat will like it? Fantasy's older. All my Warhammer knowledge comes from your streams too. Fantasy is way less organized. Well, didn't Fantasy like get completely retconned? Yes. Definitely the watch the Sanguinous Gate speech. Valkia is sick. Go ahead. Yes, yes. Korn's Bloody Valkyrie. Well, like I said, after I did her speech, you guys really liked it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm reading more quotes today. Everyone told me that I have to read the quotes today, and now I'm gonna be cringe as hell, and I'm gonna be embarrassed on the video, and they're gonna be like, "You're so cringe," and I'm like, I know. Fantasy also died and then got reborn into the Age of Sigmar, which is closer to Greek myth than fantasy. So wait, is Age of Sigmar what the current universe is then? Fantasy was killed off, then rebooted again. Do it. They got rid of, brought the Age of Sigmar. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch the video that my mod sent me, and then we'll get into the video itself. So let me set all of this up real fast. Okay, let me make sure I have this muted so I can go and find everything. All my homies hate Manfred. I don't know who Manfred is. All the 40K quotes are golden. I mean, I don't know. So here's the funny thing, right? I would love to get into voice acting. I really, really would love to, right? I'm also simultaneously super self-conscious and embarrassed voice acting. I love doing it. I love being dramatic. What's it like being a VTuber? I mean, I don't know. It's nice, right? Like I don't have to put my makeup on every day when it comes to stream. I can just be here and be a goober on the internet without having the concerns or the restrictions of the camera. But I've done full camera on Twitch. Like I've done baking streams, and I've done a bunch of hand cam streams. So sometimes you see me, but for the most part, yo, fuck Erebus. Wait. Oh yeah, you guys said that before too. Who's Erebus? Wasn't he? Erebus is not one of the Primarchs, right? I don't know why I keep thinking he's a Primarch. He's not, right? Are you a fan of Xenomorphs? Yeah, Xenomorphs are cool. Yes, Erebus is the guy who caused the heresy. Yeah, F Erebus. But I thought, wait, but did he make Horus do that? I thought it was Horus heresy. Erebus is the schemer behind the heresy. He said, oh, fuck Erebus. What a jerk. Hate Erebus on the same level Blood Angels hate Horus. Erebus is the worst, manipulated everyone. Gasp. How could he? In a universe where people are lobotomized into being artificial AI, or, well, not artificial AI, just human AI that have been lobotomized, you know, really the heretical one. Truly, I'll act your voice. He corrupted Horus. 40K is sadly missing the Skaven, the rats. See, I now know what they are. Yeah, see, I know what they are now. Let me go and find the video. Hang on. Can I just find the video properly? Bear with me while I try to find it. Okay. So I'm like trying to do like 4 things at once, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but you know, we make it work. Take this. Go over here, do this, okay, do this, do this, do this. It's gonna probably start the second I press it, so I'm just gonna pause immediately. Bricky, don't do it. Don't do it, Bricky. Don't do it, Bricky. Okay, I think we're good. Bricky didn't start talking. Okay, good. Okay. I thought I made a mistake there for a second. All right, let me go here. Let me move myself over. We're going to be watching, before we get into the react of Bricky, we're watching what my mod sent me, which is Total Warhammer 3 Champions of Chaos Valkia, which I'm guessing is for the game? Is it just because I like Valkia now? Is that why we're watching it? Wait, 204 for what? We're talking about the viewership? Yeah. Humans are the Skaven in 40k? I mean, we're definitely hordes. It's just a short video of Valkia? Okay, we can watch it real quick. I don't mind. Let me move myself over. Okay. I think I'm usually like this size, right? I think I'm about this size in my watch-alongs usually, or I keep on saying watch-along. It's a react. Sorry, I need to remember that it's a react, not a watch-along. I think it was this actually. I think it was like this. I think it was this size. You are short, so yes, I am short. I am 5'5". I am in fact not tall. Okay, let me turn off my music. Let me pause it. There we go. Let's turn this on and let me get it to show here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. There we go. Let's get this big. Boop. All right. Let's see Valkia. I'm excited. I think I'm actually bigger than I normally am. I'm gonna make myself a little smaller. I think this is better. Ooh. I remember seeing that her shield is like actually like a high demon of Slanesh, right? That she just got pissed off at. Does she own? The Gore Queen? Yeah, no, she's really cool. And at that moment, they all crap their pants. Very cool. Very cool. When she was still a human, she fought a demon prince and... Wait, she was in fact a human? I didn't know she was a human. That's really cool. Well, are all of Khorne's soldiers like other races? Lutara, Saren better. Well, the reason why I have an interest in Valkia is just because of one comment. Literally, one comment that you guys put in below one of my videos made me like her instantaneously. Instantaneously, you're just like, yeah, you could voice her. I'm like, oh, okay, I love her. I love her. Okay, let me go here. Let's go over here. Are you guys ready? Okay, Bricky, calm down, buddy. All right, I know you're excited to tell me about the lore, just like chat. But, you know, just calm down, buddy. We're going to back up a couple seconds because you already started talking. All right, everybody, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to pause. I'm going to interact with you guys a ton. I'm going to, you know, it's going to probably take a little bit to get through because it's an hour and a half. It's probably going to take us at least 2.5 to get through this. So sit back, enjoy, and yeah, all right. Here we go.
This video is part 2 in a 2-part series on every faction re-explained. If you've not seen part 1, you were either snatched by the YouTube algorithm, or you don't let anything, not even common sense, hold you back. And for that, well, I wish...
You know, I'm not gonna lie. He's not wrong. I would say that I don't have common sense if I'm just diving into the lore of this game. Or this universe, sorry, not this game.
I could be that strong. The quest to find the Primarchs was expansive and treacherous, to the point where they really should write a book about it. Despite never seeing the Emperor before in their lives, the Primarchs all instinctively knew who the Emperor was. Whether it's his psychic connection to him or just plain old intuition, the giant golden god is a bit of a giveaway.
Okay, so are all of the Emperor's kids psychers as well? Because I know that not all humans are psychers, even though all the Eldar are psychers. And I remember the Emperor of Mankind is a psyker, so are his kids... No, they're not. Some are, not all. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. All right, well, yeah, I guess I guess I'll learn more.
The Primarchs all lived their own lives, and some lived substantially better lives than others. Rabute Gilliman of the Ultramarines rose through the ranks of his worlds and ended up turning an entire sector into a high-functioning society, where others, like Mortarion, lived on the poisonous hellscape of Barbarous under the boot heel of his own adopted father. When the Emperor arrived, some wanted to play a little bit of catch with their dad at first, and some didn't trust the baseball bat he was carrying, and some didn't want to play at all.
So, okay, so the way that he just showed that was Horus again, right? So if you said that Erebus is the one who influenced Horus into committing the acts of heresy in the first place, but did Horus still have problems that were pre-existing with the Emperor of Mankind, or were they completely pushed on him by Erebus? That's more or less where I'm kind of at with trying to figure it out. Yes? Okay. So Horus still had a predisposition to being against his father before Erebus swayed him further. Okay.
Eventually, one by one, the Emperor returned his sons to his side to bring them back together as one happy family. A family who needed a good cleaning.
Ooh.
Are you tired of boring old soap? Is your son the foulest being ever? Do your eyes...
You're right. We can leave the sponsor in because it has nothing to do with my contract. You're right. You're right. You got me.
Of Cheeky. That's right. The brand new moisturizing bar soap brought to you by Moist Critical and Bricky approved. Nurgle hates it, but you'll love it. Bar
If Nurgle hates it, it's probably pretty good.
It has a ton of fuss, but now you'll
Soap, my favorite snack.
Cheeky soap is so good, we didn't even take a down payment for the sponsor. That's right. We love this soap so much, we are operating on 100% commission. We are supported purely and only by those of you who buy Cheeky.
Wow.
It's the best bar soap we have ever used. That is
It is a very cheeky ad placement.
Guaranteed. Take it from the man himself.
Bricky's right. Very good.
Enjoy a multitude
if you told me Charlie was going to be on screen today, I would have thought you were joking.
Soap, touch grass, and absolute cinnamon. Cheeky alone has made me swap back.
They sell a Pope Francis scent, excuse me?
No more liquid soap for this brick. Cheeky is the play. Go ahead
Whoa.
and go to useshiggy.com/bricky or code bricky for 10% off your purchase and domestically support these videos. That's code bricky at useshiggy.com/bricky or click the link in the description to learn more. Get clean.
What the hell am I looking at?
Oh, yeah, so half his sons turned on him.
Oh.
After the Emperor was able to bring all of his sons back into the fold again, he sent them on their way with his end goal in mind, reclaiming the lost worlds of humanity. Each of his Primarchs fanned out across the galaxy.
I love the fact that he literally spent... How long did it take him to find his sons, right? I love that he's like, I'm going to find them all. Now go out and do my bidding.
To accomplish this goal. But the one they were expected to report to was his favored son, and the first one found, allegedly, which was Horus. Horus was granted the title of War Master, and he certainly lived up to Big E's expectations, which were very
1,000
specific
years
and set by Big E himself to all of his sons. However, either intentionally or not, the Emperor did not mention to his sons some of the more chaotic aspects of the galaxy. Horus himself, while in the process of reclaiming a more advanced human world, was informed of the existence of chaos gods, a factoid that Horus initially did not believe. To him, it was a bit unfathomable to think that his father would emit such significant information on the inner workings of the galaxy.
Okay, so what Bricky is saying, let me just see if I understand this correctly. He didn't tell his kids anything about the actual workings of the galaxy around them and then still sent them out to do his bidding? Is it like... So, yeah, so the Great Crusade was about 200 years, which is already insane, because I didn't realize that humans lived that long in Warhammer. I don't know. What is the average life expectancy for a normal human in Warhammer? I understand that they're Primarchs, right? I understand that they're They're genetically the offspring of the Emperor of Mankind. I get that much. But they also understood that they were special. 15 hours or less? Oh my god. 50 years in Warhammer? Thank you. Okay. 60 years to 60 seconds. All right. I see where this is going. All right. Back to the video.
However, he soon realized this was the truth, and this betrayal was unacceptable. With the astronomical weight put on his shoulders and his father immediately leaving it all in his hands, combined with the slow corruption of his mind by those closest to him, he began to change his tune. Horus began amassing a following behind his father's back with several other Primarchs and began to formulate plans to usurp him from his throne on
He kind of looks
While
cool
this
like
was
that.
occurring, Magnus the Red tried to FaceTime his dad back on Terra, and that resulted in the shattering of a protective barrier between Terra and the demons of the warp. Due to this damage, the Emperor was forced to sit on the Golden Throne to assure that it would continue to function. Ultimately, half of the Primarchs would fall to chaos, and
Wait, okay. That's not when he got stuck on the throne, right? Magnus didn't cause that, because I remember hearing in the first video that the Emperor of Mankind had to kill Horus, right? So he killed Horus, but he was not bound to the throne yet. That's not when this happens, right? Correct. Okay. I again, people who watch this as the other video when I post it without the chat, I apologize. I'm just curious, and I'm trying my best to learn everything I can here. Volume up, please. Do you guys want me to raise Bricky's volume a little bit? I can do that. I can raise Bricky's volume a little bit. Let's see. Let's try doing it just a little bit. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. I just raised it a bit. Let's see if this is better.
the remaining half
How's
would
that,
fight
better?
back viciously against their brothers. Horus eventually gained the upper hand and arrived in orbit above Terra itself. And
Hope
after
that's better.
antagonizing his father enough, the Emperor temporarily removed himself from the throne, strategically putting his old friend there as a seat warmer. And
Oh, okay.
from-
Someone in chat just said this
and
too.
after
Let me understand this
antagonizing
again.
his father enough, the Emperor temporarily removed himself from the throne, strategically putting his old friend there as a seat warmer,
Okay.
and went to confront Horus himself on the Vengeful Spirit, his flagship. The Emperor faced down his son, and after a heated battle and 64 novels, the Emperor managed to obliterate Horus on a subatomic level, but not before his favorite son was able to mortally wound the Emperor. As the dust settled and the traitors fled from Terra, the Emperor's body was dragged back onto the Golden Throne, where it sits permanently to assure that it continues to function. A corpse forced to constantly hold back the horrors of the warp and guide humanity with his pale light. And that light is flickering. From there, the remaining members of the traitors to the
Okay, before we even continue with the traders, and I'll back up a little bit so we don't miss anything. So I know that this is a contentious point with you guys, not just you guys, but people who watch this later. It's always a contentious point about the Emperor of Mankind. Now he's there for a purpose of keeping the gates of hell basically from destroying everything for humanity. That's kind of what I'm getting. But now he's there as there's so much to unpack with him. There's so much to unpack with the Emperor of Mankind. So I understand that from what I remember, he needs to have 1,000 psychers a day to fuel him doing this, but he's effectively just a corpse. But I know some people keep on telling me that he's alive, and then other people tell me he's basically in a coma. He keeps the demon gate closed and lights the astronomicon that guides ship. So he is a glorified lighthouse. That is what you're telling me. You're telling me that the Emperor of Mankind is a glorified lighthouse. That is kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Huh. Okay. All right.
Emperor fled to their respective safe havens. These are the veterans of the Long War, the spiteful, and to them, the wronged. Those who would let the galaxy burn if it means the Imperium gets caught in the flames.
Damn.
These are the...
Woo! So are these Horus's people?
And what are the achievements of your fragile Imperium? It is a corpse rotting slowly from within while maggots writhe in its belly. It was built with the toil of heroes and giants, and now it is inhabited by frightened weaklings to whom the glories of those times are half-forgotten legends. I have forgotten nothing, and my wisdom has expanded far beyond mere mortal frailties.
I'm so sorry to anybody who hates these. You guys asked for it, I gotta do it. And what are these achievements of your fragile Imperium? It is a corpse rotting slowly from within while maggots writhe in its belly. It was built with the toil of heroes and giants, and now it is inhabited by frightened weaklings, to whom the glories of those times are half-forgotten legends. I have forgotten nothing, and my wisdom has expanded far beyond mere mortal frailties. Okay, there you guys go.
The Horus Heresy saw the collapse of the Imperium as we knew it.
Dance for us, streamer.
And half the Space Marine legions fell to the ruinous powers. Though the favored son, War Master Horus, was killed and the rebellion ended, the heretical forces retreated to the warp and remain a constant threat to this day. The twisted reminder of what the temptations
God,
of
that
the
looks
warp
cool.
may bring, the Chaos Space Marines act.
Dude, he looks so cool.
Loyal legions, and as time progresses, their warp taint further changes them to suit the needs of their patron deity. Though marred and absolutely mangled by the ruinous powers, they are still unmistakably Space Marines in stature and shape, and according to them, they have never been more free. After the heresy, the loyal legions of Space Marines became very strict in their organization, and their separation into separate chapters with capped numbers and other formalities was done to prevent any form of heresy from happening again. The Chaos Space Marines are a bit different. Ultimately, these Marines are subject to the primary legions that fell to Chaos in the first place.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. The Chaos Space Marines, I might get some flack for this. I kind of think the Chaos Space Marines are the coolest Space Marines right now. I Heresy, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, as far as their design goes, really cool. Really cool. I know this is a Demon Prince. I understand. I'm just saying, is from the previous thing before, the Chaos, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
The majority of these legions, the Black Legion, the Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, and the Night Lords, are supporters of Chaos Undivided, either enjoying the powers of all Chaos gods or sometimes shunning them altogether. But a few of them follow a very specific Chaos god. Thousand Sons are followers of Zeech, the Death Guard follows Nurgle, Slaanesh has their claws in the Emperor's Children, and the World Eaters are avid followers.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I remember, you guys, okay, hold on. Hold the hell on. You guys, when I said that I liked the Emperor's Children, what do you mean Slaanesh has her, what?
Nurgle, Slaanesh has their...
Huh? Huh? When? Huh? When did, I mean, I guess I'll find out, right? But what? Okay, well, I'm guessing it, what's his name? Fulgrim, right? I'm guessing something horrible happens to him, huh? Unless that is Fulgrim. That's not Fulgrim, right? You like the Goon God? I do not like the Goon God! No! I do not like Slaanesh! I do not like the Goon... No! Fulgrim is a sexy snake! Wow! Oh my god. Alright, well, continuing. Can I back out of saying I like the Emperor's Children? I don't like them anymore. I don't like their faction. I think, no, I don't like them anymore. No, it's not too late. I don't like them anymore. I don't like them anymore.
Claws in the Emperor's Children, and the World Eaters are avid followers of Khorne. From there, the legions themselves are separated into roaming war bands that may go under their own unique names or may stake a claim to one of the primary legions. Most of the gear and armor of a Chaos Space Marine remains the same, but stylistically it changes quite a bit to reflect the intention of the Legion or their patron god. The Death Guard's armor has become rotted and full of gaping mouths and plague-filled boils. The World Eater's sharp and violent armor reflects their bloodthirst, and the chaotic noise of the Emperor's Children armor, nipple rings included,
Oh, come on!
pleases Slaanesh greatly. Due to the taint of chaos, the armor itself becomes less about plating and more about a new skin for any given Chaos Space Marine. Though the Chaos Space Marines have no true fear of death or numbers diminishing, there are still major recruitment efforts for their legions. However, the conscription of these recruits is a lot more chaos-fueled and is more of a forced assimilation, and in some instances, breeding. The organ implementations and other modifications are the same, and the necessity of a gene seed remains the same, but the result is a hell of a lot different. Understanding Chaos Space Marines is a difficult exercise. If we took my original video 5 years back and looked at the Imperial Knights section, it mainly focuses on big stompy robots. Now that I understand more, I can discuss the Code Chivalric, the Throne Mechanicum, Squires, and Monarchs, and bring some more context to it all. To assume Chaos Space Marines are simply the opposite side of Space Marines would be foolish.
Okay.
For once you understand the plight of their Primarchs, it can provide a context always needed. Horus himself turned through an overwhelming weight on his shoulders and lies told by his father. But what of Angron? Angron lived as a slave gladiator for his planet's masters, who took Dark Age technology and shoved it into his brain, so experiencing any emotion other than rage.
Aren't the Primarchs like insanely powerful? How did he become the whipping boy of the planet's monarch? Wouldn't he be able to like destroy most of these people on the planet? He was a baby? Ah, yeah, you're right. Okay. Again, ignorance on my part. I don't ever perceive any human being in Warhammer as an infant ever because they're just these giant hulking monsters. So it's like really, it's the Eldar's fault. Isn't everything? Isn't everything the Eldar's fault in this universe? If I can understand one thing, everything is the fault of the Eldar. All right.
Was agony for him. He finally leads a revolt for his fellow gladiators and frees himself from the confines of servitude. The Emperor finds him and says he will take him home, but Angron refuses. He will fight with his friends against the tyranny of his slave owners to the last. At the final, last
he reminds me of
stand
Radon.
with him and his closest friends, slave gladiators, all of them, outnumbered and on the verge of death, the Emperor forcefully teleports Angron to his flagship and none of his compatriots, leaving Angron to live and watch all of his friends die. You kept that mule Corferon. Russ kept his kin friends. The Lion kept Luther. Humans, brothers, and foster fathers, saved and raised into Legion ranks. Not me. Not Angron, no. Did the Emperor teleport his gold-wrapped custodians down to help me in my army? No. Did he free the Warhounds and order them to battle, fight alongside me? No. Did he save my brothers and sisters the way he spared and honored the Lion's kin, the way he honored Corferon? No, no, and no. No mercy for Angron, Angron the Oathbreaker, Angron the Betrayer.
Oh, I saw the comment. Read, please. Oh my god. How would I even do this voice? I don't even know what this would be. Would it be like more dark and angry? Like, would it be like... You kept that mule, Corphiron. Rus kept his kin friends. The Lion kept Luther. Humans, brothers, and foster fathers. Saved and raised into Legion ranks, but not me. Not Angron, no. Did the Emperor teleport his gold-wrapped custodians down to help me and my army? No. Did he free the Warhounds and order them to battle, fight alongside me? No. Did he save my brothers and sisters the way he spared and honored the Lion's closest kin, the way he honored Corferon? No, no, and no. No mercy for Angron, Angron the Oathbreaker, Angron the Betrayer. Was that like okay? Do it while screaming? angry, oh, he'd be screaming? Damn, my bad. All right, my bad.
Conrad Kurz lived as a lonely boy scrounging the dregs of a hive city plagued by constant visions of an assassin sent to murder him by his own father. Morgar was born on a world of chaos worshippers with abusive parents, and the Emperor decided the best way to reprimand him was destroy his holy city. The Emperor robbed Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus at every turn. The question isn't why the Primarchs rebelled, but destroy his holy city. The Emperor robbed Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus.
So wait, so who is this guy in the picture? Because that guy's cool too. He looks very Nurgle-ish, but very, very cool looking.
At every turn. The question isn't...
Well, gonna back up. I forgot to turn that off, so I'm gonna do that right now. Whoopsie. I need to mark this timestamp to make sure I take this out of VOD later. Whoopsie, my bad. We have these moments, all right? I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Which one was it? Where are you? Where are you hiding? Why can't I find my alerts? Where are my alerts? Is it right here? I think it's this one. Okay, there we go. Found it. Whoopsie. Initial D fan. I am a big Initial D fan. Yeah, sorry. At least the talking a little bit will make it easier to find this point in the video to take it out of the long form. But yeah, anybody who watches the VOD, because one thing I've kind of learned about YouTube, a lot of people just come and find the live stream and watch the VOD instead of watching the cut version, which is totally cool. To you guys who find me later, hi, I love you. But yeah, so whoopsie. So if anybody else follows me on Twitch today, it won't show, but I will make sure to say thank you when I catch you over on the other website. So thank you very much to everybody who's followed me over on Twitch. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're amazing. He's the Mortarion leader of the Death Guard and a follower. Of course, he's a follower of Nurgle. God damn it. All right.
Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus at every turn. The question isn't why the Primarchs rebelled. The question is
how? How is that still going off? How is that still happening? Wait, how is that still happening? I have it turned off. I swear I have it turned off. No, Pen, I have it turned off. I swear I have it turned off. I'm going through all of my sources. I have it turned off. I know for a fact it's turned off. I'm double checking everything. How is it still going off? I don't understand. Now only the music plays. I'm gonna have to turn it off from the source. This is why you pray to the machine spirit hates me. Every live stream now that I do on YouTube, do you notice this happens? Every single time, the machine spirit curses me. What are you sending me? Oh, wait, that's a thing? That's a thing, Pen? How would I have known that? Like, let's be real here. How would I have ever known that that's even a thing? All right, I think I found it. Let me click it. And let me do... shut down source when not visible. Now you guys can't do it to me. You guys thought you were funny. You guys thought you were clever, huh? You thought you get one over on old Tetra here. No. Yeah, we're that's not getting in the video. That's not staying in the VOD. I'm getting rid of it. But thank you very much for the follows. You guys are the best. All right. We're gonna back up as well. Give me 1 second.
His holy city.
There we go.
The Emperor robbed Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus at every turn. The question isn't why the Primarchs rebelled. The question is why didn't they sooner? To them, they are not the betrayers. They are the betrayed. They were
The YouTube people don't even know I have a throne. Why are you trying to... Crims! God, I'm trying to... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that that's there. That's my... What do you mean? How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know that I was gonna have people go over to my wish list? Okay, this is what you get, I guess. What I get my shoes that make me not a tiny person. Like literally, for anybody who's curious as to what that is, those are sneakers that give me like 4 inches of height because I'm tiny. All right, well now I have to hide the throne alerts. Crims, I need to keep this stuff for the VOD. Why are you doing this? I have to manually hide all of these. All right, well, I'm gonna hide that now. Okay. That was not me. Which one of you was it? Which one of you was it? Who's opening my stuff from the other site? Peak content? I don't know if it's peak content, but it's something. The Alpha Legion trolling? Yeah, no, my Twitch chat's angry that I'm not on Twitch, apparently. Hit it with Tangia. Don't hit me with Tangia! I need to keep this stuff up so I can show this in the long form. You guys are making me edit more later. I'm trying to make my life easier, and you guys just keep making it harder. I don't want to see, the thing is, I don't and gamers, please, I asked this to my Twitch chat. I'm hiding the card. I don't want to hide the card thing. I am asking you from the bottom of my heart, please don't do the Twitch redeems while I'm streaming on YouTube, okay? Because disabling that could cause problems for people's collections of the card game over on YouTube. Or over on Twitch, rather. I'm not worried about any of the new people doing it because it's a lot of channel points to save up for, so that's not a problem. So I'm asking you guys to do that. I'll mute Throne. I'm not going to say no to gifts. If you hit me on Throne, cool. But I know you guys like to know when that happens, so I am going to turn off the Throne thing. Or I can leave Throne on, I guess. But I'll just rewind if a Throne alert happens. So I'm going to leave Throne on because it's not that big of a deal. I'll leave so Throne can stay on, but I will rewind whenever that happens. Thankfully, that's really quick. That was a gift and it wasn't redeemed. Wait, really? Why are you gifting subs on my Twitch? I'm on YouTube right now. I'm gonna hopefully have membership tomorrow. Screw them. No, they're wonderful people. The Twitch community are wonderful people. They really are. At least my Twitch community are wonderful people. Most of them are here. They're just being goobers. But I will say, I do not have to accept the Emperor's children now. But yeah, so hopefully we don't have to worry about that because we'll have YouTube membership starting hopefully really soon. She lies, we're horrible. You guys are gremlins. Yeah, you guys are gremlins. How can rich people be so disgusting? Wait, what the? Wait, no, that's the Emperor's children. I was like, are you calling my Twitch chat rich and disgusting? 10 out of 10 with banned crims. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are funny. Too late, Tetra. You said you liked them in the previous video. Damn. Have you thought about worshiping Khorne or Sanguinus? I like Khorne. Khorne's my favorite of the Chaos Gods. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to back up one more time. We've got this, okay? It'll be fine. All right, we're backing up again.
Why the Primarchs rebelled? The question is, why didn't they sooner? To them, they are not the betrayers. They are the betrayed. They were under the boot of a golden tyrant, and they finally could be free from his heel. Of course, things have changed a lot since the heresy, and the Primarchs of the Chaos Space Marines that have...
Why does he have nipple horns? Why does he have nipple horns? They're very intimidating. That's Magnus? Why don't you? You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Survive the fall are a twisted variant of what they used to be. They have all, for the most part, ascended to the position of Demon Prince and act as a direct connection between their god and their legion. However, due to the nature of the transformation and dedication to a particular chaos god, their actions tend to be separate from their legion's actions. Fulgrim, for example, is so infatuated with being a Demon Prince of Slaanesh that he is at times far too focused on his own personal perfection as opposed to conquest, and sitting around around like Frankfurter on his throne. Meanwhile, Lorgar is being stalked by a bird, so he's always on edge. The most adamant.
Wait, hold on one second. That's Fulgrim. Yeah, I'm going back. Sorry, I got distracted. Yura had to go feed the cats. She's like, oh my goodness, it's 5 o'clock. We gotta feed the cats.
Personal perfection as opposed to conquest and sitting around like Frankfurter on his throne. Meanwhile, Lorgar is being stalked by a bird, so he's always on edge. The most adamant against the temptations of the chaos gods, Perturabo, was even.
Why is he being stalked by a bird? Why is? Can someone explain to me the bird stalking thing? Is it like an allegory, or is he actually Lorgar's being spawn camp 10 out of 10? What does that mean? What does that mean? Corpus Corax? No, cause why? Why do we hate Lorgar? Why do we hate Lorgar? Okay.
Been made a demon prince as a reward for being the one who did the most work on the group project. Chaos Space Marines are a fascinating faction because there is a great deal of cognitive dissonance that is represented in them. Depending on which faction you follow, your devotion to chaos is a sliding scale, and the representation in the universe is so varied. Some are there to reap a high tally of kills for their patron deity, while others are there purely to destroy the Imperium who wronged them. Some are there to torture and maim, and some are there to conquest and conquer. There is no unifying glue. They fight each other as much as they fight everyone conquer.
That's Angron?
No unifying glue. They fight each other as much as they fight everyone else, and their machinations are entirely up to their warband. You have all walked different paths, but together we have come to the same destination. The Emperor has failed us. The Imperium has failed us all. It has failed us by the laxity of its laws, the decadence of its culture, and in the injustices heaped upon those of us who serve the most loyally. It has failed us by never recognizing our virtues, never rewarding us for the blood we shed and bringing about its ascendancy, and never providing unity when we needed it most. It has failed us by
Why do you want me to read this again? I don't even know what the voice should be.
In its pursuit of a perfect culture, and in its weakness against the encroachment of Xenos, breeds that seek to twist humanity to alien ends.
Well, I missed it. Oh, darn. I guess I don't have to read it, right? Right? I don't have to read it? I can skip. We could just move forward, right? Right? Oh, my God.
Encroachment of Xenos, breeds that seek to twist humanity to alien ends.
Okay, all right. You said this is Horus? You said this is... I don't know what Horus sounds like, though. Bitterment incarnate? How would that be? How would he be pissed off, right? Like... doing like a noble voice. You have all walked different paths, but together we have come to the same destination. The Emperor has failed us. The Imperial has... I can't even do it. Wait, fuck. I'm screwing this up so bad. I'm so sorry. Teeth gritted? Is it that bad? Horus sounds like a gangster? Just read it like you're on your 9 to 5? What does that mean? Bitter... All right. I'll try. Take two. Yeah, take two. You have all walked different paths, but together we have come to the same destination. The Emperor has failed us. The Imperial has failed us all. It has failed us by the laxity of its laws, the decadence of its culture, and the injustices heaped upon those of us who have served the most loyally. It has failed us by never recognizing our virtues, never rewarding us for the blood we shed and bringing about its ascendancy, and never providing unity when we needed it most. It has failed us by being flawed to its core, imperfect in its pursuit to a perfect culture, and its weakness against the encroachment of Xenos breed that seek to twist humanity to alien ends. God, it hurts my soul to make some of these. The comments are going to be like, you suck.
Most of all, by being founded upon lies.
Why is there more?
Forged by a dangerous deceit and erodes us all by demanding we sacrifice truth on the altar.
Why is there more?
This is an empire propagated by sin that deserves to die. And here on Istvan 5, we begin the purge. From these ashes shall rise
I'll leave it in. I won't edit that out.
An imperium of
I'll
justice,
suffer.
faith, and enlightenment. An imperium
Horse is
heralded,
yapping.
commanded, and protected by the avatars of the gods themselves. An empire strong enough to stand through a future of blood and fire.
I'm not reading the rest. You guys got a little bit. That was
as
enough.
I have said before, Space Marines do not make up the bulk of the fighting force in the Imperium. So it would be ludicrous for me to not mention their dark cousins. The Code Chivalry is the sign of the power of the Imperial Knights. But what about the
dark mechanic? Oh no. Oh no. Please. Okay, please tell me that they're not actually worse than the regular Mechanicus. Because the regular Mechanicus are horrendous. Please tell me that it can't get worse than regular Mechanicus. Yeah, I have no. Oh no. No. Oh no. Oh no. When I see the comments move that fast to my questions, it's never a good sign. That's never a good sign. They're 1,000 times worse? What? What? Oh boy. Oh boy.
The ruinous powers claimed during the Horus Heresy extended beyond just the Space Marines and the Primarchs. Mars itself was subject to a revolution that saw half of them fall to chaos as well. And some of the once loyal knight houses saw themselves swearing fealty to the dark gods. The falling of these factions allows for the war machine of chaos to continue uninterrupted and to have firepower equal to that of the Imperium itself. The Dark Mechanicum, as the name suggests, is the chaos-affiliated branch of the Mechanicus, and have a lot more free reign, much like the freedoms of the Chaos Space Marines. The seeds of the Dark Mechanicum were planted fairly early due to some of the Mechanicum not really seeing the Emperor as the Omnissiah immediately, and Horus exploited this to allow the schism to happen a bit more naturally. Unlike their Imperial brothers, the Dark Mechanicum have the ability to invent and innovate. What a concept. While also utilizing forbidden technologies such as the Silica Animus or AI. The Dark Mechanicum do have their own desires to find lost technologies and put them to use, but they're more interested in taking ancient and forbidden technology from Imperial worlds and activating them for their own purposes. Because what good is a bunch of knob and tube wiring if you don't overload it with as many extension cords as possible? However, instead of being clear-cut and more generalized creations, the inventions of the Dark Mechanicum are inherently tied with the warp and its demons. Genetic experimentation and modification, the fusion of man and machine are exceptionally common, and no creation is more reflective of this than the demon engines. Instead of regular tanks and vehicles, the demon engines are machines bound with the presence of demons to make them living war machines.
I'm sorry, what? I mean, I'm already kind of floored by the fact that they seem like exponentially more dangerous and powerful than the Mechanicus that I saw in the last video, because they can use AI and all this other stuff. But that's a demon tank. That's a demon tank.
Unlike the vehicles of the Imperium, where a Mechanicus priest may be there to aid in its repair, a Warpsmith sorcerer is there to essentially repair and irritate the demon engine so that it can be a more effective killing machine. In certain factions, like the bitter and siege-loving Iron Warriors, they will lure demons with the promise of glory and easy bloodletting, only to then forcibly trap them into these demonic engines to use as weapons of war against the Imperium. Some lesser gods, like Vashtor the Archifane, is also a contract and arms dealer for the demonic stuff that comes out of chaos. Many demons may sign a pact with Vashtor in the soul forges of the warp, and in doing so are given the weapons of war to kill as much as they can. Should they do so, excellent, you may keep it. Should you not, I hope you enjoy your soul working in the forges for all eternity.
Science without boundaries is an understatement. Like, this is... You know, Bricky has said this a couple times, and I agree with him. It's science that's kind of gotten to the point where it's basically just magic. It's basically just magic.
That's what you signed with blood and oil. In addition, much like their ties in the Loyalist realm, the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Knight houses are deeply intertwined. There were, of course, many Knight houses that swore fealty and bent the knee to War Master Horus during the heresy, but a good portion of them had no choice, as they were absorbed by warp storms and corrupted into compliance. Many of these Chaos Knights reflect the very early Dark Age technology Knights with...
Oh, come on. Okay, all right, that's cool
the
looking.
Mechanicum, which once had a noble sitting and taking control of generations of previous drivers and taming a beast, is now a saddle to a monstrosity of wrath and hatred. The nobles of the Chaos Knights fight to aggravate and bring the machine to their will while combating the corrupted minds of their fallen ancestors. Some of these nobles may do such a good job that they themselves fuse into the throne itself and become one with the knight.
Yeah,
if a noble dies, no worries at all. Unlike the Imperial ones that require a pilot, a demon can hop into the cockpit and control it instead. The Night Worlds also see full corruption as well. Where there were once peasants, there are now cultists, and the goal of the Chaos Knights are just as chaotic as the gods they follow. Some are sent to war by the ruinous powers. Others may protect Dark Mechanicum Forge worlds, and others still may be so hyped up on the ruinous powers that they are just aimless and reckless, hoping to unravel the fabric of the universe itself. Though the aspect of nobility is still there with the Chaos Knight, but it's hardly the same as it is on the Imperial side. As opposed to a beautiful knightly stallion, the knights here are horrifying and unpredictable monstrosities, fueled in part by the agony of the memories of the ancestors trapped within. An invasion by...
Okay, I'm gonna back up a second, but yeah, no, Memento, you're totally right. This is Satan's Gundam. This is literally satanic Gundams. I don't know what else to refer to it as. That is insane. So far, they still aren't. Okay, you guys might think that I'm being a little bit silly here, but somehow, some way, I don't think that they're worse than the regular ones yet. Right now, they don't seem worse. I mean, wait. Am I mixing things up here? Did we already jump past the Mechanicus, or the Knights are part of the Mechanicus, right? I thought the Knights and them are part of the Mechanicus. Or are the Knights different? Like, I thought that they were one faction. Or are they two? Both? Yes? Knights are aligned with the mechanics. Okay. They're symbiotic, but not distinct. Okay. Thank you. They're an ally. Because he jumped right into it. Like, yeah, he went like he jumped right from Dark Mechanicus into the Knights to the point where it just seemed like they were the same faction. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm not, like, completely lost here. So I'm just doing my best to keep track of it.
By a house of chaos, of the memories of the ancestors trapped within.
Oh, I see.
An invasion by a house of Chaos Knights is a horrifying thing. One might ask, how do Knights enter the battlefield? Normally, they can be deployed via dropships the standard way, but Imperial Knights can be deployed with a drop keep. A gigantic Knight keep with, like, towers and stuff will hurtle towards the surface like a drop pod and be slammed into the ground with an excessively thunderous crash. Then, massive drawbridges slam down, banners unfurl, and huge horns play the song of their people as these lumbering robots charge out of their, again, drop keep to fight for the Imperium. So imagine.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much.
What a warp-fueled version of this could look like.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Chaos Knights have such a presence, the warp fluctuates in their tread. They bring doom, dread, and...
What is a yogurt mail? Wait, what? I'm sorry. I missed anything he said. I missed anything he said there. I'm sorry.
The warp... Chaos Knights have such a presence, the warp fluctuates in their tread. They bring doom, dread, and despair across the battlefield. Warp storms occur overhead, and psychic phenomenon cling to them. A Chaos Knight will arrive either in some warp-debased platform or perhaps a portal itself, or climb out of a pool of blood. As the air gets heavy, the enemy feels a crippling sense of paranoia, and the sky begins to rain blood, acid, and God knows what else. The horrors of the warp have resulted in a dramatic change in technology in the favor of their forces. Though in practice, it is a horror beyond comprehension, their baseline desires don't seem that radical on paper. They are creative builders, working to innovate and improve technology while utilizing anything they can to accomplish their STEM goals.
Right.
Looking at the dark forces of chaos and the Emperor now on his golden throne, humanity is fractured. The Emperor himself is the guiding light for warp travel for humanity, and in being that exists as a beacon for the entire species. Without him, things would get somehow worse. Therefore, he needs his protectors. Where a Thunder Warrior wasn't enough for his armies, and half of his Space Marines turned traitor, the Emperor's personal bodyguards are something else entirely. They are not the fallible Astartes, nor are they a nightmarish concoction of organs and indoctrination. They are built and gene-crafted, with science bordering on magic. They number 10,000 strong, and each of them is a hero. They are
the Adeptus Custodes.
Rare is the battle where
I'm assuming these are popular.
custodians outnumber our foes. We are ever beset, surrounded upon all sides by heresy and foulness, just as is Terra itself. Yet, like the throne world, we stand resolute, indefatigable, indomitable. Let the enemy come. Let them darken the horizon with their numbers. Still, we will prevail. Though the Emperor
Henry
sits
Cavill
rotting on the
incarnate.
golden throne, his talons remain sharp. The talons of the Emperor was the name given to the most elite forces at his disposal. The left hand of his talons comes in the form of the Sisters of Silence, psychic blanks that scour the galaxy.
I've never heard of
souls
them.
to fuel the Astronomicon in the form of the Great Tide. 1,000 psychers sacrificed daily to keep the Emperor of Mankind alive, dragged into the black ships of the Silent Sisterhood.
Is this the one that everybody got really upsetty spaghetti about? I remember people got really upset about like female custodies. Is that these? Yes, no. Because these look cool as hell. Because these characters look super cool. Like super cool. Like the armor design is outstanding. Like legitimately outstanding.
Right hand of the Emperor's protectorate, his golden bodyguards that serve him and only him. These are the Custodians. While the members of the
Custodians
went out to take back the galaxy, the Legio Custodes stood back and kept a close watch over the Emperor himself. The Custodes are, in a sense, similar to Space Marines in that they are genetically modified super soldiers clad in power armor, but that is where the similarities stop. Their genetic makeup seems to be made from the Emperor himself, or at least something quite close. And the precision of their creation predates the development of the Space Marines and even the Primarchs. Unlike Space Marine recruitment, where there's a process undertaken when a subject is at least somewhat grown, a Custodian's process begins at infancy. The methods in which they are made are a secret, but what is known is that at the very beginning, each Custodian was made by the Emperor himself. Regardless of the bioalchemical process.
Wait, that means that if the Emperor made them himself, does that mean that there's a finite number of the Custodes? How? So wait, like, wouldn't that like be like problematic even for the tabletop? Like, if there's 10,000 Custodes, how wouldn't that? I just assume that would be a problem for the tabletop with like how that would work. I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter because they're small scale, but he invented the process. Okay.
The process is exceptionally long and grueling, and only a handful of selected aspirants make it to the end. Those that do are clad in the most regal and effective armor in the Imperium. Commonly, a Custodian is seen carrying a Guardian Spear, an utterly yoked up version of the staves the Praetorian Guards of the Emperor in Star Wars had. They are also clad with specific shields and blades.
Those shields
but
are
the
cool.
most interesting thing with all of their gear is that due to the meticulous and dedicated maintenance and preservation of their armor and gear, these items are the same ones they used 10,000 years ago. The custodians do not age biologically, so some of the veterans in the guard may be several thousand years old.
Oh.
And unlike the Space Marines, they fight entirely as a solo force. When a line of custodians is holding back waves of enemies, they operate independently. There are no battle formations, there are no squad tactics. Each custodian is the main character, trained by serfs and servitors, tasked entirely to reload their weapons. They fight with a singular purpose.
Okay, I see why a lot of you guys like them, just from the concept of it's just legitimate, like, protagonist complex with every single one of them. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's the main character, this guy's the main character, they're all the main character of their own little show.
If not action. Groups of custodians will dispatch enemy after enemy, their spears coming within inches of each other, but never close enough for a killing blow. Their strikes are intentionally defensive, allowing their opponents to attack 1 to 2 times before parrying and ending their lives. Each strike deflected is an opportunity to know their enemy more and learn from their patterns. They are truly the Emperor's bodyguards, masters of close combat, enemy knowledge, and reactions measured in milliseconds. Though the custodians are a part of the Adeptus Terra, the members of the Guard only answer to their own leadership and the Emperor himself. The leader of the custodians is known as the Captain General, and individual squads of custodians are overseen by a shield captain. As their focus is on the Emperor, their command center is located within the Imperial Palace. The Tower of Hegemon serves as their primary base of operations, but there is a dedicated elite guard of custodians known as the Companions that stands 300 strong by the Emperor's side. In total, the custodians are 10,000 strong, and when a member retires, their name is added to the Hall of Name and vanish across the galaxy in a cloaked disguise to serve as eyes and ears for the Imperium. Despite their numbers and their strength, the members of the custodians do not consider themselves to be soldiers or warriors in any way. They see themselves strictly as the guardians of the Emperor in all facets of his presence. This extends beyond the physical. Custodians believe they represent the guarding of the Emperor's ideals and philosophies too. Their gains are both physical and literary. They are the protectorates of everything the Emperor stood for, and in doing so, the custodians are also artisans and scholars, in addition to being the Golden Guard of the Golden Throne.
Okay, all right. I saw what you guys were saying, how they are them. They seem so perfect compared to everybody else in the universe. Everybody else is so everybody else is like a slave child or a living couch or a servitor, but these guys are just like, I'm great. I get to be an artisan. I am perfect. I get to do this. I am quite literally perfection incarnate. It is ridiculous. I can see why they are so popular. That is insane.
However, due to this nature of being protectorates, they have a very strong view when it comes to the Space Marines and the Primarchs. The Emperor himself had insinuated many times that once the galaxy was brought to heel, that there would be no need for the Space Marines anymore, and they were to go the same way that the Thunder Warriors went before them. The Custodians were meant to be the judge, jury, and executioner of this will, and are biologically designed not only to be able to take down a Space Marine with ease, but to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Primarch as well. During the Heresy, the Custodians mused on how suspiciously easy it was to kill Chaos Space Marines, as if they were trained and made for that explicit purpose. Constantine Valdor, one of the closest advisors of the Emperor, was asked if he ever disagreed with Big E on something, and he said once, with the formation of the Primarchs.
I feel I do my best, but they don't.
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
I hate
sip.
that every time we're in Untucked, the conversations are about me.
And besides the trained distrust for Space Marines, the Custodians also have evidence for their distrust. The Horus Heresy saw half of the chapters fall to chaos and turn traitor against the Emperor. In the mind of a Custodian, the fact that half of the Space Marines fell before means that the other half can fall with ease. They are fully capable of wiping out literally any force put against them, and in a sense are the final representation of the golden age of terror. However, they are forced to stand in silent and blind service to the Emperor and to the ill of the Imperium. And they, for 10,000 years, have stood vigil over the Imperium and have watched its rise and fall with the inability to do anything about it. While they do go out and fight some battles here and there, at the end of the day, the vastness of the Imperium means that the closest advisors to the Emperor himself are powerless to make any change. But goddamn, can they kill a Space Marine? For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this.
I'll read.
Patience is a weapon.
And also, take care, Zero. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. So, I'm not going to lie, though. I will say this. I'm going to be a bit of a basic bitch. The Custodians might be the coolest of the Space Marines, even though they're not Space Marines. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Reed is diabolical. How would it be diabolical? Like, for 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to the dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years I did not but wait, yet had the threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years I stood my watch, and it ends as I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. Alright, there you go.
Of course, a threat directly to Terra itself would appear to be something foolish. It's in the deepest parts of Imperial space and is one of the most defended bastions in the galaxy. You'd truly have to be fooled.
They're Henry Cavill's favorite. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. He's kind of perfect. Henry Cavill's kind of perfect. I'm gonna be honest with you. The man's kind of perfect. All right. Anyway, back to this.
One of the most defended bastions in the galaxy. You'd truly have to be foolhardy or insane to think that you can take on Terra itself. However, one faction certainly got close. In the dark ages of the stars and in a river of misery, there is one faction having a crackin' old time. The galaxy sees them as savages, yet they have already figured out the questions of the universe. Their numbers are uncountable, their technology incomprehensible, and yet their violence is so very green. I am, of course, talking about the...
Yay! Okay, I'm excited.
The orcs are the pinnacle of creation. For them, the great struggle is one. They have evolved a society which knows no stress or angst. Who are we to judge them? We Eldar who have failed, or the humans on the road to ruin in their turn? And why? Because we saw answers to questions that an orc wouldn't even bother to ask. We see a culture that is strong and despise it as crude.
I will say, for anybody who watches this later who does not see the chat, understand that the chat is just saying wah.
During the war in heaven, the old ones were doing their best to spawn as many combatants to their cause as possible by seeding the galaxy in a specialized sense. The Eldar were made to be a precise and tactical species to fight off the Catan and the Necrons, but another prominent species was made by them as well. The Quark were warriors clad in ornate armor with more dangerous weaponry. However, things changed, and these warriors changed, and the Quark are no more. They are now known as the boys, the lads,
The boys.
the orcs, 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 orcs. An orc in 40k looks like an orc in most other fantasy media. Hulking,
I love them.
warlike monstrosities with big teeth and worse attitudes. However, unlike the more Tolkien-esque forms of these creatures, the devastating nature of the orcs is in their biology. Unlike most species in the galaxy, the orcs are actually a type of fungus. This fungus itself comes in various forms. The small...
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what, they're a fungus? Of course they're... You know what? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that they're a fungus? I feel like that should be like the least surprising thing I've heard so far today.
Goblin like Gretchen and Snotlings are a part of this fungal ecosystem as well, and also the squigs, which can be used for basically anything. But regardless of what is a part of the fungal system, all of them are born from spores that land on the ground and grow. As they travel around the galaxy, they drop spores literally everywhere, and then an orc dies, and they drop tons of fungal spores that allows for their numbers to be replenished over a period of time. Because of this, orcs are not only extremely prominent across the galaxy, but they are exceptionally resilient due to their growing cycle. Even if one orc lands on a planet, it will be nearly impossible to get rid of all of the orc presence unless the planet itself is completely destroyed. And even then, they might find a way to survive. Due to their fungal nature, orcs don't really stop growing. And the more long-lived an orc is, the bigger they get. And the more an orc fights, the bigger they get. Of course, since they're constantly getting into scraps, an orc's lifespan isn't necessarily that long.
Okay, wait. I love them, okay? I love them so much. So the more they fight, the bigger they get. It's so stupid. I love it. It's so stupid. They're completely broken. They at least they sound completely broken, and they just get bigger. I love it.
So the bigger orcs are harder to find. Though alongside this, however, they are a tribe-based species that is comprised of warbands, and the biggest and the strongest orc leads the warband known as the war boss. At the bottom end of the orc tribal
Please don't
system
give me
are the
quotes to
Gretchens
read,
and the
please.
Snotlings. These members act as the servants
Sorry, I missed
of
what he
the orc
said.
tribal system are the Gretchens and the Snotlings. These members act as the servants and slaves of the orcs, and sometimes their actual ammunition, despite being a bit smarter and more cunning than their bigger brethren. Because in orc culture, the biggest is the boss. The smallest gets picked on and thrown around. Beyond the war bands and the tribes, orcs also belong to a specific clan. Tribes constantly shatter and rebuild, but the clans do not. They are, in a sense, a psychological state of being for any given orc, and gives an orc their specific character and traits. And to make things easier, these clans are also color-coded, so that's very easy to tell what orc does what. Though there are many clans out there, 6 of them are the most prominent and well-known. The Bad Moons are essentially the merchants and have a lot of money because their currency is teeth, and they grow teeth faster than any others. The Blood Axes are the stealth units, and by stealth, it means like slightly more quiet than the others, and they have a love for LARPing as humies. Death Skulls are the scavengers, and the Goths are the close combat specialists. And on the 2 ends of the spectrum, we also have the tech-savvy Evil Sons, and the more traditionalist and tribal Snakebites. Another major facet of orcs is their religious beliefs. They believe in 2 gods, Gork.
Excuse me, you guys all told me you haven't seen a purple orc. There's a purple orc right there. Excuse me, chat.
Sons and the more traditional.
You're all wrong. Purple orc was right there. Look at that, purple. You see? Purple.
Major facet of orcs is their religious beliefs. They believe in 2 gods, Gork and Mork. Gork is cunningly brutal, and Mork is brutally cunning. The difference between them, according to orcs, is that Mork hits you when you aren't looking, and Gork hits you when you are. There's a lot of confusion as to which one is which, and this results in a lot of infights. In other species, this would be considered a sort of religious conflict, but for the orcs, it's just another excuse to fight. I have a quote here, but I don't really do a good orc voice.
Oh no.
So I'm going to get my co-host of That's Ridiculous to read this one, and I'll try to lip sync.
Oh no.
Oh, he's more cunning in a grot and more killing.
I don't need to do it.
The boys that follow me can't be beat. On Pisana, we jumped the Marine boys, and our boss pose was covered in the helmets we took from the dead-ends. We burned their port and killed their bosses and left nothing but ruins behind. I'm Lord Gezgul Mac Uruk, and I speak with the word of the gods. We's gonna stomp the universe flat and kill anything what fights back. We's gonna do this cause we're orcs, and we was made to fight and win.
There's no way I can do that. There's no way. Do it. Oh my god. I is a more cunning than a glutton, more killing than a dread. The boys that follow me can't be beat. On Pissina we jumped the marine boys and our boss poles were covered into helmets. We took from the dead uns. We burned their port and killed their bosses and nothing left but ruins behind. I'm Warlord Gazkul Mak Uruk Thraka and I speak with the word of the gods. We is gonna stomp the universe flat and kill anything that fights back. We is gonna do this cause we're orcs and we was made to fight and win. I hate you all so much. I hate you all so much.
It's because this fucking sounds terrible. Fighting is the biggest aspect of orc culture, and it's essentially their life's purpose. They are genetically hardwired to get into battles and scraps with enemies that can feel pain. The more they fight, the bigger they get. This, combined with them getting bigger over time, means that some of the biggest and baddest orcs of all time have been notably gigantic. The Beast, as he was known, was about the size of an imperial knight. If an orc runs out of other enemies to fight, they will immediately start infighting to scratch the battle itch. For example, in the Warp, a planet exists where a band of orcs are in a constant state of war and battle, and have been for an improbably long amount of time, strictly because how much Korn enjoys himself watching it.
Okay, so the Warp... Isn't the Warp where the unspeakable horrors are? Right? So Korn just enjoys watching them and kind of just lets them do it? Okay. Okay.
For some, being trapped in a perpetual war planet for all eternity would be a fate worse than death, but to the boys,
The
this
boys.
is heaven. In the event of a particularly big battle, a massive amount of tribes and war bands will unite under what is known as the War. The concept of a war covers a few bases. The first is the group aspect of the massive green tidal wave of orcs fighting for the same cause, the cause being the second base. But the most prominent aspect of the war is the psychic aspect of it. Remember how the old ones made the Eldar and all the Eldar are psychic? Well, the orcs are too, kind of, but just not as much. Only a little bit of it. And they often don't know how to use it and frankly don't care. But a huge gathering of orcs generates a psychic field that allows orcs to be more organized, dangerous, and dedicated to the war-based cause. However, the true extent of the psychic energy and its usage is relatively unknown, but that doesn't matter considering the outcome 90% of the time. In a similar sense, their ragtag technology and weaponry is also a mystery to most who encounter it purely because of that Wa energy. The technology the orcs use seem to be held together with duct tape and plastic glue.
This is where the I'm a tank thing comes from, right? Right? Okay.
And crude doesn't even begin to describe it. Their guns seem to have an inordinate amount of ammunition and firepower, and they are seemingly able to put things together on the fly in the middle of combat. The Imperium is of the mind that the orcs' weapons and machinery only work due to their innate psychic ability, but realistically, orc gear hardly works in the first place. Weapons blow up in a Bugs Bunny-esque manner all the time, and their war buggies can collapse in the middle of battle. Just because it works a handful of times does not mean it's an effective weapon. But this doesn't stop the orcs and their green tide. To really understand the power of the Wa energy, orcs can operate purely off of belief. Now, a misconception is that orcs believe something is real and it happens. But that isn't true, because that's just one orc. However, there's never one orc. There's normally a few
Wait. I'm gonna use the power of Wa, okay? I'm gonna use the power of belief, chat. Okay? This is to all of you. This is to the viewers as well after this goes public as a regular video. Like and subscribe. I'm using the power of belief to generate all of your subscriptions right now. I can feel it in my bones, okay? I'm just letting you know it's all the Wa. Okay? All right. Okay.
orcs together, and if they all believe something is true, the warp will tend to respond with a positive green light. Sometimes. Do the red ones go faster? Well, with enough orcs, yeah. How does an orc buggy with an engine block that's just a boulder with vroom vroom written in chalk work? Who cares? Orcs breathing on a ship with a hull breach? Go ahead. An orc went back in time to kill a version of himself so he could have 2 of his favorite weapons. It is shenanigans. Because of their actions and...
Is that true, though? I know that I've heard that in jest, but have the orcs actually gone back in time? Like, is that story? Is that like canon or is that fanon? Yeah, yes. Yes. Oh my, I love it. I love it. There is nothing anybody can tell me that these aren't the freaking coolest things, or at least the funniest things in all of Warhammer. I love them. I can't imagine anybody not liking them. They're just amazing. They're so stupid. They're amazing.
Aesthetic, the orcs tend to be presented in a comic relief sense in a lot of media, particularly the media from their perspective. They are bumbling and loud and goofy British football hooligans, and they say silly things and act in silly ways. But to the citizens of the Imperium, the orcs are far from funny. They are violent and irrational creatures that take humans for punching bags, slaves, or ultimately dinner. They have no moral compass and are violent and brutal killers that know nothing else. They are genetically designed to be a violent species that was capable of beating back the Necrons and the Catan. And if the orcs were ever able to unify under one banner, they would be utterly unstoppable. However, due to their aggressive nature, their organizational skills are non-existent.
Okay, so wait. If they were strong enough to fight back the Necron and the Catan, is that when the Necron were still Necron tier? Or was that after they... Because the Catan... The Necrons basically Pokeballed all the Catan, didn't they? So why would it be the Necrons and the Catan? Because I thought the Catan just became like a power source for the Necrons. They were robots by then. They were the Necrons. They became the they were made to combat the Necrons. Okay. I'm sure there's also a lot of pieces that I'm missing because I've only watched, a couple of videos so far. But like, that's what I'm trying to understand. The one thing that I feel like I've understood a fair bit of so far, because he did go into a lot of detail, was the Necron tier to the Necron era and all that fun jazz with the Catan. So, see, even if I'm not physically taking notes, I'm absorbing some. I am absorbing some. Everything you guys write in the comment section, I do read. So I do learn a lot from you guys. Just stop telling me about how there's no wolves on Fenris. I hate it. 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 Okay.
And they tend to just beat each other up for the fun of it. All that exists in the mind of an orc is fighting and nothing else. If they wipe out their enemies, they will inevitably wipe themselves out as well. They are a brutal Ouroboros doomed to an endless war cycle, but to an orc, why does it matter? If they fight and they win, they win. If they fight and they die, it was a good fight. Now that the Xenos are growing in strength and more are threatening the safety of the Imperium, they need to bring new methods in order to handle what they are currently facing. Okay. The Emperor is on the Golden Throne. Half the Space Marines are traitor and they are beset from enemies within and without. So now the Lords on Terra must prepare for anything possible and sometimes the impossible. For that, they take to the stars to explore and expand. They recruit assassins for priority eliminations. They train a galactic police force and a secret police to root out any and all heresy. The lesser known yet most feared,
Agents of the Imperium. I don't think I've seen the Agents of the Imperium before.
I carry with me an inquisitorial seal. It is a small, unassuming object contained in a neat box of Pluvian obsidian. It is a modest thing, relatively plain, adorned with a single motif and a simple motto. Yet with this little object, I can sign the death warrant of an entire world and can sign 1 billion souls to a where the Imperium may see its justice dealt out in the hands of its armies and the gauntlets of its stories. When one needs eyes, ears, or both cut out, it looks
last one
and can sign 1 billion souls to oblivion.
Oh, well, I missed it.
Death warrant of an entire world and can sign 1 billion souls to a...
So what am I? How like what is it supposed to be? Like what? The Inquisition? Like a smarmy noble? Like, I carry with me an Inquisitor seal. It is a small, unassuming object contained in a neat box of pluvian obsidian. It is a modest thing, relatively plain, adorned with a single motif and a simple motto. Yet with this little object I can sign the death warrant of an entire world and consign 1 billion souls to oblivion. Alright, last one. Last one.
Where the
No more.
Imperium may
No more.
see its justice dealt out by the hands of its armies and the gauntlets of its Astartes, when one needs eyes, ears, or both cut out, it looks to the agents of the Imperium. In a meta sense, these agents are a homogenized version of multiple factions from the original video 5 years ago. They comprise multiple aspects of the wide and all-encompassing armies of humanity and serve different roles. Whether it be the law enforcers of the Adeptus Arbites, the void-faring explorers of rogue traders, the invisible hand of the Assassinorum, or the hospitality of the Emperor's Inquisition. Each has a part.
Okay. Just little bit of bias here. Favorite design I've seen so far. I love that. I love that so much. Oh my goodness.
To play in the God Emperor's domain.
Someone give me
Rogue
artwork of
traders
that
are a
with
great
me.
example of a somewhat undiscussed part of the Imperium, its nobility. While you may see the General Imperium as a totalitarian hellscape, because it is, this is to those under the boot of the nobles that run it. Rogue traders are a special kind of explorer, and their existence is extremely important to the function of the Imperium. A rogue trader is often an extremely special individual and is given the
Also love her.
monumentally sized warrant of trade, allowing them to be given almost complete and utter freedom. Their task is simple: to chart the uncharted, learn the unlearned, and do whatever they can as an explorer and conquistador for those back on Terra. This information is, strictly speaking, invaluable. Whether a sector can be settled and colonies built, or precious rare resources exist on a floating asteroid can be mined, or a long-lost Imperial world from the Age of Strife is recovered, it's all absolutely imperative. These rogue traders are faster than any other kind of Imperial armada, and therefore chart the direction of the entire society. Because of this, rogue traders are given a substantial amount of freedom. They have a ship and a crew of specialists, and can do things that would see any normal person shot.
I see you guys mentioning the game too, but like, why doesn't Warhammer have an MMO? Not Warhammer, sorry. Yeah, Warhammer. Yeah, why? Like, I know Warcraft has an MMO, but like, why doesn't Warhammer have an MMO? Like, the universe is massive. Like, the universe is massive. It did. Really? And it just didn't last? That's not, it's way too big. I just feel like it's such a free real estate for them to do. It just really seems to me like it'd be legitimate free real estate. All right.
They can barter deals and even recruit Xenos races. They can explore areas strictly prohibited, and they can earn a vast amount of wealth and riches in doing so. This tends to make rogue traders a very long lineage, and their heirs take up the mantle of their house. By being explorers, they become fabulous.
Okay, just to respond to what you're saying, I agree with that though. In fairness, RuneScape is goated.
Wealthy, and some can become quite the assholes while doing so. But truly, much like a night pilot, a rogue trader is an exceptionally rich individual who can back it up. They are master swordsmen, explorers, merchants, settlers, diplomats, and everything in between. They chart a course, and they set the grounds, which means they will need someone to defend them, and the prime choice for that can be the Adeptus Arbites. Now, the Arbites are cops, Judge Dredd-style cops, as their inspiration clearly shows. Each planet will have their own members of local law enforcement, and most of them will settle many of the issues there and then. But when something requires a far more in-depth peacekeeping force, the Adeptus Arbites are brought in. Think local police versus the FBI. Arbitrators in the Arbites tend to focus heavily on stopping crime before it can become too much of a threat. A criminal gang or heretical uprising can be subdued quickly and efficiently by utilizing them and dealing with soon-to-be criminals, as they put it. They will tap into communications, create spy networks, do interrogations and sabotage, anything that helps the good of the Imperium and the law they seek to preserve. The code of the Arbites is laid out entirely via the Book of Judgment, a gigantic library of pages showing every single law from every single High Lord of Terra in the history of the Imperium. Because the Imperium is so vast, hundreds of laws are added every single day, and the library continues to grow with more and more laws and judgments. While RBDs themselves carry a small version called the Book of Law on their person, this does end
I'm sorry, I just read the thing that he has up there.
up creating a system where the unjustly prosecuted will never escape their prisons. If an innocent is wrongly convicted, any form of legal counsel will need to go through the Book of Judgment to help get you out. Often these prisoners require hundreds of years of litigation in which they will eventually expire before they can be deemed wrongly convicted. Innocence is irrelevant. You have been judged guilty of transgressing the Lex Imperialis. Do not compound your guilt by evading punishment, as there are greater crimes, so are there greater sentences. Of course, should something go out of the
Innocence is irrelevant? What? What?
hands of the Adeptus Arbites, there is always the silent hand of the Officio Assassinorum to take their place. Naturally, the Imperium has assassins, and these assassins are sent to dispatch important figures that would not normally be handled by simply sending waves and waves of guardsmen at it. The Assassinorum is headed by the Grand Master of the Assassinorum, who is a High Lord of Terra and perhaps the shadiest individual in the entire galaxy. At his disposal are multiple types of assassins that all specialize in various things. Their training is extreme and absurd. Aspirant children are often subjected to Hunger Games style combat with each other on the ride over to the temple. Then you get low gravity, high pressure, traps, horrendous physical and mental strain, and everything in between. Then their minds are wiped completely and the real fun begins. An Imperial Assassin is nothing to mess around with. They are some of the fastest moving and hardest hitting things the Imperium has at hand and can go toe to toe with Space Marines depending on which temple they are from.
Seriously?
Some, like the Vindicares, are master snipers who lie in wait for weeks, days, or even months.
Now, when you guys play with the tabletop, like, are there people who just play with the assassins, or do you need to have them mixed with other things? Like, I have no idea how the game is played, and that's a whole other can of worms that I'd have to learn. But, like, could you just have a whole little group of assassins, like, hiding in the corners for the game? Does that work? Mix? Okay, they're support units. Okay, I was going to say it would make no sense that they could be their own army. Okay. Okay, cool. See, I'm learning. Thank you.
Just to get the perfect headshot from 5 kilometers away and disappear. The Calidus Temple are masters of shape-shifting and take a drug that allows them to transmute their body into whatever they see fit. A confidant of a target may be killed and they will take their place before killing their target outright. Or they could shift into a member of a Chaos Warband with symbols and flesh and all that to earn the trust of a cult leader before slitting their throat. The Caluxus Assassin is a psychic blank, a soulless mutation, making them appear as uneasy to normal humans and downright disgusting to psychers. When a powerful psycher is causing issues, this is who you send. Their specialized helmet enhances their already latent powers and will allow them to all but drain the souls from those they touch and their very body. It is an extreme weapon used when a direct form of pressure must be applied to an otherwise untouchable psyker. Now, if you needed direct pressure in a more literal way, the Eversor is
Blanks are humans born without a soul. Oh, okay, you know, casual, you know, human born without a soul. No, I get you.
For you, a drugged up comatose psychopath that is directly dropped on enemy lines and allowed to wreak havoc, killing anything and everything it sees in a blaze of movement and blood before it inevitably dies and causes a plasma explosion on its demise. There are other temples as well, the Vanis Temple acting as sort of like a cyber hacker, the Venomim Temple specializing in poisons, but all in all, assassins move with their skin-tight body gloves with a speed unmatched and force unexpected. One of the best assassin novels puts a Vindicare Calidus and Vanis to infiltrate a night world, kill the High Monarch of the Night, who is permanently stuck in his giant robot knight, install a new ruler in his stead, and make sure nobody knows the Imperium did it.
Sorry, say it again.
Monarch of the Night, who is Vanis to infiltrate a night world, kill the High Monarch of the Night, who is permanently stuck in his giant robot knight, install a new ruler in his stead, and make sure nobody knows the Imperium did it. Their missions are insanity, and their tasks impossible, and they do it anyway. Thus is the power the Assassinorum wields. We do not determine the guilty, we do not decide the punishment. We are merely the cold instrument of the Emperor's vengeance.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
There is no form of death unknown to us. There is no form of terror beyond our means. There is no enemy outside our reach. We are the blade that hovers over the throat of the traitor. We are the bullet that awaits the heretic's skull. We are the poison in the throat of the alien. However, despite the prowess of the traitors, the police, and the assassins, there is one that stands above all. As the Imperium settled into its post-Emperor world, they needed a force to root out corruption wherever it could be found. But they needed specialized individuals who could do so. Men and women who would serve as detective and executioner.
Just to what you're saying, TJ, you know what? Maybe the Warhammer audience will actually know the character. I feel like nobody knows who Spawn is anymore. I used to think Spawn was such a cool idea of a character, but like I feel like nobody has any idea who he is. Like, how many people in chat actually know who Spawn is? Because I feel like he is from the era of the 90s that a lot of like the younger kids don't even know who he is. Spawn's peak, yeah, 90s. Okay, you know what? I think I've realized something here. Is it possible that the Warhammer demographic is from the 90s? Is it possible the Warhammer demographic is from the 90s? Super underutilized character. That's what I would think. Yeah, I used to think Spawn was so cool. I still have. My uncle gave it to me. I still have Spawn Volume 9. It's not like a valuable one or whatever. I just thought the cover art was so damn cool looking. It was so damn cool looking. Okay, all right. Anyway, back to Warhammer. Sorry. Just a little sidebar there.
This new secret police would have unlimited authority, and they would be known as the Inquisition. Inquisitors of the Inquisition are one of the most feared individuals in all of the galaxy for the common members of humanity. Trained in the most difficult of conditions and mental hardening, they have long closed their minds to the compassions of those they deem guilty. Inquisitors are, for the most part, detectives, but they are detectives whose authority is unmatched and actions justified by the state itself. Similar to the KGB, the Gestapo, the Stasi, the OVRA, but unlike those organizations, the Inquisition has far more authority and is one of the only types of individuals who can commit exterminatus, the term used for the utter and total destruction of a planet that is no longer deemed usable by the Imperium. While it is a very exciting word and a commonly notable thing done in Warhammer, exterminatus is not actually used particularly often. It's a last resort entirely meant to stop the enemy from gaining a major foothold or spread even more corruption. Even with 1 million worlds, the wholesale slaughter of an entire planet is still a massive blow to the Imperium. Inquisitors...
I'm gonna assume that they've exterminatus a planet with orcs before. I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark and assume that's had to have happened. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop again. I'll back up.
The slaughter of an entire planet is still a massive blow to the Imperium. Inquisitors range quite a bit, not just in how they operate, but also in their personalities. They are often main characters for a large amount of books, as detective noir is a great genre, and they can be the most stone-cold killer or a pragmatic and sympathetic individual depending on who they are. Radical Inquisitors may utilize methods unlike most of the Imperium, such as alien tech or even demon hosts, where Puritans stick closer to the methods of the religious state and shun any deviations. They also specialize in various aspects, as the Inquisition has orders or ordos, such as Xenos for aliens, Malleus for demons, and Hereticus for, you guessed it. Truly, if you are a normal citizen of the Imperium, a person flashing an inquisitorial rosette in front of you may be one of the most terrifying moments of your entire life. It is the same as an FBI badge or a KGB member, except now you're in Warhammer. So, their authority and
that'd be terrible. That'd be terrible.
Agents of the Imperium are vast and offer a ton of different concepts to the world of Warhammer. And they continue to expand as the Emperor's descent into the Golden Throne has lasting effects on humanity. As time progressed, a few people seeing the Emperor as a deity made their voices louder, and over a few thousand years, worship of the Emperor was not only considered expected, but state mandated. This church will be known as the Ecclesiarchy, and there were many who would look to the cardinal position and make desperate grabs at their power, leaving horrid effects on the populace. The Age of Apostasy was a time of reformation in the Imperium that saw its eventual change into an overtly religious empire. During this time, an all-female warrior cult to the Emperor called the Daughters of the Emperor were a bit more isolated from the wider.
Very cool design.
However, as the ecclesiarchy began to take root, one Goj Van Dyer became the High Lord of the Administratum and noticed these warriors and felt they could be useful to him.
Sorry, I'm just checking the
Goj
cats.
himself told
Sorry, I'm gonna back up for a second.
these warriors and felt they could be useful to him. Goj himself told these warriors that he was the voice of the Emperor himself and demanded they fire upon him to prove it. Having a little hidden force field that this warrior cult had never seen before, the bullet bounced off of him and showing him to be unharmed, truly blessed by the Emperor. This cult became known as the Brides of the Emperor and acted as his personal bodyguards and aides. However, Goj Van Dyer was a tyrant, and his horrendous reign spelt ruination for the wider Imperium, which made the Adeptus Custodes take notice. Despite an outright coup and revolt against him, the deadlock was getting steep as the Brides of the Emperor's fierce combat skills kept him safe. One custodian made contact with the leader of the Brides and brought her into the throne room of the Emperor himself.
Okay, just to ask the chat, are the Brides of the Emperor the same as the Sisters of Battle, or are they different? Are they just two different names for the same people? Yes? Okay. Just making sure. I'm just making sure.
Nobody knows what transpired in that room, save for Alicia Dominica, the custodian, and the Emperor himself. However, she left the room with her hair bleached pure white from the interaction, marched her battle brides directly to Van Dyer himself and said, "You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your decrees have stated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live.
You must read
Your
this.
sentence has been long overdue, and it is now time for you."
All right. Last one, I promise. To everybody who hates these, I'm sorry. People keep asking. For once, it's a lady quote, right? You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your decrees have stated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and it is now time for you to die. Is that okay enough? More furious? What am I supposed to do? Be like, you have committed the ultimate heresy! You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your decrees have stated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and it is now time for you to die. Is that better? Is that better?
To die. Despite not having any time to die, Goj Van Dyer found some time to do so. With his head lopped clean from his body, the Brides of the Emperor were no more, and the ecclesiarchy signed a document to stop Van Dyer's reign from happening again. They would no longer be allowed to have men under arms.
Oh.
Men.
Oh. Is it Adeptus Sororitas?
The Adeptus
Sororitas?
Sororitas, or commonly known as the Sisters of Battle, the nuns with guns, the fighting force
The nuns
of
with guns.
the church. Despite being the main militant faction, the Sisters of Battle, their organization actually is far more diverse than this and have many more nun-based roles for their members. They are organized by various orders with very specialties.
God, the armors
in
are
mind,
cool,
such as
though.
the non-militant orders like the Hospitaller, Dialogus, and Familius, including things like helping with surgical equipment and various other medical
the red
stuff,
one looks great.
lingo, and a poli-sci degree. These orders are further separated into smaller orders in an almost Space Marine chapter sense, but tend to have more flexibility due to the nature of their work. And in addition to that, there is flexibility between the orders. It is not uncommon for a member of one of the more battle-hardened orders to switch
God,
to
that
a more
looks cool.
passive one once they sustain battlefield injuries or are a bit closer to.
Can we just stop and just appreciate how insane some of this art is? Like, some of this art is just really, really impressive. Sorry, backing up.
To switch to a more passive one once they've sustained battlefield injuries or are a bit closer to retirement. As mentioned before, the Sisters of Battle are a part of their own separate organization, the Order's Militant, and feature the highest number of any given sister. They are the official fighting force of the ecclesiarchy, and they specialize in wars of faith. Unlike the deployment of Astartes and Guardsmen, the Sisters of Battle are often deployed with members of the Inquisitorial Ordo Hereticus due to the holy war nature of their battles. The Sisters of Battle are suited up with their own form of specialized power armor that gives them almost like a Joan of Arc vibe to the battlefield. Though lacking the more extreme modifications of a Space Marine's power armor, mainly to the fact that Sisters are, for the most part, regular humans, the power armor of a Sister of Battle almost matches the defensive power of an Astartes. But
That's crazy.
with added flexibility and versatility in exchange for its strength. Some of the patterns of armor do allow for the enhancing of genetics, but this is far from the norm. This, combined with an arsenal of tanks and vehicles that have literal church organ rocket launchers on them, really.
I'm sorry. Their tanks have organs on them. Okay, you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised anymore. And Penn, I saw your comment.
Brings across the holy war vibe in a gothic manner. Accompanying a Sister of Battle in the fields of war is the holy trinity of weaponry. The bolter, the flamer, and the melta. With such a simple loadout, the Sisters of Battle are able to bring down the glorious flames of the Emperor himself.
Oh, sorry. Correction on my part. A pipe organ missile launcher. Not a pipe organ. A pipe organ missile launcher. My bad.
And his holy light shines on them in other ways during a conflict. Hell, even their jump packs evoke angelic imagery as opposed to the more clunky jetpacks ones that Space Marines have. In times of great turmoil or impossibility, a living saint of the sororitas itself might appear on the battlefield surrounded by a litany of doves and cherubs, an almost comical scene of holy glory followed by literal hellfire. The Sisters are a fascinating organization because they take what is normally seen as a benevolent force and turn it on its head to be a horrifying method of war. Because the Sisters are so zealous, they are nigh impossible to persuade and almost never fall to chaos. In fact, any deviation from the Imperial faith may see you killed outright as you are deemed a heretic, and sometimes Sisters have even less patience than the Inquisition does. To the Adeptus Sororitas, no punishment is too extreme for blasphemy and heretical behavior. Whether it's lobotomizing traitors to use as shock troops or attaching them physically to agonizing pain engines so they can die for the Emperor, anything goes.
Lovely.
The most fascinating part of the Sisters, however, is their faith. We discussed how orcs often make things happen through belief because of their sheer number of them. The Sisters create miracles where they walk. They are not many psychers like orcs, but they are excessively devout and make up for that. Bullets barely miss targets they absolutely should hit. Guns jam, tanks malfunction, enemies slip and fall. The scene from Pulp Fiction is an accurate portrayal of what happens when the Sisters fight.
I'd knock that shit off if I was you. Die, you motherfucker!
One of the most prominent figures is the Triumph of St. Catherine, a literal open casket with the saint of a sister's order held aloft by lobotomized servant cherubs and protected by bodyguards of the faithful. The devotion to the emperor swells so strong that acts of faith are made manifest, and sometimes angels themselves. When the sisters go to war, they have thundering organs and litanies screeching out into the battlefield, hymns and songs.
This art's
they
awesome.
rabble off prayers on their lips and burn holy fire across the area. They spray holy water down from horns atop their vehicles. It is a genuine holy war, a procession of death. Saint Celestine is an undying deity, arriving precisely where she is needed and returning to the fold after each death. When she dies, she sees a crying young girl atop a mountain of bones, her bones, after every one of her deaths.
Oh.
She climbs this mountain every time to help comfort this crying child and is rebirthed upon the battlefield. And one day, her deaths will create a mountain so large that even she will not be able to traverse it. Is she a demon of the god emperor? Perhaps, but she'll be shot for saying so. She is genuinely and literally faith made manifest. Some sisters may make a mistake, however.
Sorry.
Literally, faith made manifest.
I have to say, the idea of the writing, like, you guys probably already think this or know this, and I'm just being an idiot because I don't know any of this stuff, but the idea of the writing of how she resurrects is one of the coolest things that I have heard from this universe as far as being a well thought out device to create a limit on immortality. That is such a cool idea of how she maintained sainthood. And it's beyond the scope of anything I would have conceived as a limiting factor. It's actually borrowed from Buddhism. I did not know that. That's really cool. That is a really, really that is a really, really cool thing. It goes way harder than it was stated. I have to look more into it though, because that's really neat. That's really neat.
Some sisters may make a mistake, however, and find themselves questioning their faith, disobeying a command, and even leaving their order. These sisters are sent for reconditioning and are known as the Sisters Repentia. They generally face the front of the line head on and seek retribution and forgiveness from the emperor himself. Though their actions were heretical, repentia on the fields of battle is an indication of an individual wanting to become forgiven. They run aloft with torture devices attached to their bodies and a chain sword the size of their body, completely armorless, to determine if this is how they die or if the emperor will forgive them. Even the most famous champion of the sisters, that Saint Celestine, was a repentia. Even she questioned her faith. And if she can do it, so can you. Just don't run away again. They don't really do third chances. The Sisters of Battle are martyrdom-enthused zealots that create miracles in their tread. Their devotion is boundless and also a direct source of their power. A whole army of power-armored soldiers shooting, burning, and melting all in their path is bad enough, but it enters a whole different level when God is on your side. By bolter shell, flamer burst, and melta blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So has it been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. The Imperium devolving into wars of faith is to push its
more reading.
agenda further. Where the
Next time.
xenophobic nature of humanity was once strong, it has now been magnified, and there are plenty of aliens in this galaxy. 6,000 years prior to the current events of 40K, a planet was found by an AdMech exploration vessel. The life forms on the planet were seen using tools, but they were still very primitive, so the planet was marked for destruction.
Did Bricky's hair change, or am I just losing my mind? No. Okay, I swear to God, it looked like his hair changed.
6,000 years prior to the current events of 40K, a planet was found by an AdMech exploration vessel. The life forms on the planet were seen using tools, but they were still very primitive, so the planet was marked for destruction to pave the way for the Imperial war machine. However, this was thrown off because of an extreme warp storm and that whole Doge Van Dyer thing. Flash forward to modern day, and an unknown but highly advanced vessel was shot down near an Imperial mining world, and the bodies on this vessel matched those life forms found on that primitive world. The native creatures on that planet were able to evolve rapidly due to them being unobstructed, and their highly advanced gear posed a new threat to the Imperium. Advancing over these years with a remarkable speed, these are the new upstarts in the galaxy.
What are they?
Looking to make a name for themselves, all in the name of the greater good. These are the...
The Tau Empire?
Evil. Do not hate him. Pity him, his ignorance. Seek to understand his differences.
I actually don't know anything about the Tau, aside from some of you guys hating it.
Only then will he accept his place in the greater good. The early history of the Tau is chaotic at best. Due to their extreme speed run to space travel, their journey to the stars were overburdened with inner conflict. It wasn't until the appearance of the Ethereals that things began to settle. These Tau to the warring tribes marked their unification under one common belief, the greater good of the Tauva.
Okay, so the greater good of the Tauva. Since it was speedrun, how fast was their speedrun to space travel? Like how much time has passed since the world was marked for destruction versus now? 6,000 years. Okay, so that's really fast. Okay.
What about the greater good?
The greater good.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
The greater good
is a caste-based system that seeks to unify and organize the Tau into an effective and successful society while working for their mutual benefit. These castes, in order from lowest to highest, are the Fire or Shas caste, which is soldiers, Earth/Theo, which is manufacturers and industrialists, the Water or Core, being diplomats and traders, and the Air/Core, being Navy officers. Also, you have the Ethereal/Un, which is the lords and leaders.
They really are the prophets from Halo.
Of the Eldar, the Tau don't get any say into which caste they're in. It's determined upon birth due to inheritance from a parent. Trying to deviate from your caste.
It's an entire species of Nepo babies? Oh, I don't like the Tau. Oh, I don't like the Tau.
Or trying to do tasks or even use tools assigned to another caste is a grievous crime against the Ethereals, and those guilty of this crime tend to be sent to re-education camps, which sounds not so greater good, but a greater good than the good that the Imperium sees as greater. The guidance of the greater good also encourages the growth of the Empire through the absorption of other races and cultures. The expansion of the Tau Empire is split into spheres of time. So far, there have been...
They're Nepo Baby Covenant! They're literally Nepo Baby Covenant! They absorb other species, and they're all based on what you were left with from your previous generation? What? What?
5 spheres of expansion, with a 6th one being planned in the current timeline. The first 2 spheres saw the Tau move beyond their homeworld and settle new planetary systems, known as SEPs, and absorb multiple races into their ranks. But the 3rd sphere is where we see the Tau interact with the Imperium for the first time, which went about as well as you think it did. The Tau, as mentioned before,
I get that it's a caste
highly
system.
advanced compared to some of the other species in the galaxy, and their military tactics are highly precise. Instead of the Imperial methodology of throwing everything at a problem, the Tau carefully assess any battle and take as many precautions as possible. Commonly, you will see a Tau warrior in a heavily modified battle suit with advanced targeting systems. The
Their
Tau
armor's
do
cool.
not often consider close combat to be something very effective, so they don't really put much stock into it. Their Gundam-like battlesuits have a multitude of functionality, ranging from overwhelming firepower to stealth-based combat, and since they're an upstart species with a bit of technical flair, they have plenty of AI drones that help them in the field of battle. In addition to this, the Tau are also joined in the field of battle by some of the species that have been absorbed into the fold of the greater good. These auxiliaries often employ tactics that the Tau are unable to do on their end, such as the brute force and almost primitive nature of the Kroot, combined with the Geonosian aerial shock attack style of the Vespens.
It's interesting.
The Tau assimilate more and more species with time, including even some humans who wish to break off from the Imperium for pick a reason. The aesthetic of the Tau also leans a bit more into the East Asian sci-fi aesthetics. The large mech suits definitely evoke that Gundam look, but the general garb of their higher-ups kind of create that motif, and they often have accents in the games that they are in. But while Tau are looked at as Gundam mech faction by some,
Okay, I'm not gonna lie though. The mechs and the armor though are top tier. I think the aesthetic of the armor is awesome. Don't like the actual like alien look, but their armor and their mechs really cool.
others enjoy them for the full coalition of aliens. One of my favorite images in Warhammer is this official artwork by Games Workshop. Now, not a single one of these aliens are a faction in Warhammer, and yet they all are different species that do exist in this universe. The Milky Way galaxy is vast, and while the Imperium and many others exterminate what they can find, the Tau will assimilate those that can be assimilated. The Kroot and Vespens we already discussed, and the humans and also Votan will join them at times, but you also have the Galg, the Nigasar, the Vorg, the Thraxian, the Terrellian, Greet, Domati, and many others. Some of these are just one-off lines, and some are major players in the civilization. The Nigasar are, for lack of a better word, gigantic psychic polar bears with bird-like faces. The Tau have
I'm sorry, what? What? Are those figures? What? That sounds cool.
psychic bears. And the fact I haven't seen this is a crime. The Tau as a
it's
culture
not.
are generally marred by the various issues that an advanced civilization would have in an unadvanced galaxy. They do not travel through the warp because of the insane dangers, but instead use a more classic FTL jump. However, because they aren't going through hell, it makes them a lot slower than many other races. The Imperium might surf through hell and lose a few ships, but they will get there first. Often they will take enormous cannons and weaponry and defeat their foes before they can even close the gap. One of their light walkers carried a weapon of lethal effect. It fired a form of ultra-high velocity projectile. I saw one of our tanks after being hit by it. There was a small hole punched in either flank. One, the projectile's entry point, the other its exit. The tiny munition had passed through the vehicle with such speed that everything within the hole not welded down had been sucked out through the exit hole, including the crew. We never identified their bodies, for all that remained of them was a red stain upon the ground.
Oh my
extending some 20
god,
meters
yeah, they got the suck.
The fascination of the Tau is that in any other modern day world, their society would be horrid. Rigid caste systems, corruption, and politicking ethereals, and basically it's the greater good or nothing at all. But in the world of Warhammer, the simple fact that humans are accepted into their sphere should they please already puts them far and above the other races that would murder or eat them. But despite this, the existential
Wait, so there are humans that are part of the Tau armies, or that are part of the Tau civilization? How did that work? They just went over and were like, "Hey, let us in." Auxiliaries, really? Oh, okay. I think that's interesting.
dread that is the Tau Empire is ever so apparent. Despite being hyper-advanced and welcoming a coalition of aliens, they are the upstarts, and they are painfully outnumbered on all sides. Almost any other faction in the universe, given the right amount of force, can wipe out the Tau Empire from existence.
I'm sorry, they got sterilized? What? Alright, moving on.
They themselves might not be perfect, but their slight glimmer of hope is exactly that, a glimmer in a dark and crushing galaxy. Of course, nobody dares take the attempt to destroy the Tau Empire, because doing so is an enormous amount of resources, and for the same reason why you don't full send your whole army to one person in a commander game of Magic. You open yourself up to player 2 and 3. But not to say it won't be a struggle. The Tau Empire, when prepared, are a vicious fighting force who might delete your formation before you even see them. But they lack numbers. And in the
his audio mixing got a little bit wonky at this in this video.
But
But also, wait.
Army to one purposes and to just in a dark and crushing galaxy. Of course, nobody dares take the attempt to destroy the Tau Empire.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Doing so is
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear that line. So yeah, interestingly enough, it's just fascinating that the entire reason the tower are around is because nobody wants to bother. That's what it sounds like, the way he phrased it. It's like, yeah, the tower would lose, but nobody cares enough.
You might delete your formation before you even see them, but they lack numbers. And in the dark corners of the galaxy, something is coming that is entirely numbers.
Tyranids! Okay, I'm excited. Bugs.
There
bugs.
is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With each decade, it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. This horror, this abomination, has thought and purpose that functions on an unimaginable galactic scale, and all we can try to do is stop the swarms of bioengineer monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct. We have given the horror a name to salve our fears. We call it the Tyranid race. But if it is aware of us at all, it must only know us as prey. The conflicts of Warhammer...
Can we just even say how fucking gassed that quote is? Like, that makes them sound so cool. That even this picture, look how cool that is. Look how cool that is.
40K are chaotic enough with the sheer volume of violence that exists in the confines of the Milky Way. However, there is a threat to the galaxy that extends beyond our known galaxy that is creeping ever closer and cannot be negotiated with. What drew them to the galaxy is unclear. It may have been the light of the Astronomicon itself, like a moth to a flame. It could have been a Xenos device detonated in the Horus Heresy. It could have been that they were done eating the Andromeda Galaxy and they have come to take ours. Or they might be running from something far, far worse. Regardless of the why, the where, when it came to the first official contact with these creatures, was the planet of Tyran. This is the site where the Imperium encountered a fleet of these creatures before being utterly torn to shreds. Thus, these creatures became known as the Tyranids. There is plenty of evidence that the Tyranids have been lurking in our galaxy for years beforehand, but this was the first true instance of their presence being fully known. Unlike other creatures in the realm of 40K that can be talked to, captured, or negotiated with, the Tyranids are unable to be reasoned with. They are, at their core, animals. But not the fun kind of animals. They are the xenomorphs of 40K, and boy are they hungry.
So, they're intelligent though, right? Because if they're a threat in the universe, do they have space travel? Or do they just go from world to world by hopping onto someone's ship, mass reproducing and killing everybody? Like, they're so cool. Like, they are so... Yes, hive mind synapse. Does that mean that... Is there a queen? Like, do they have... I mean, aside from Matara. But, like, do they have, like, you know, officers? Like, how does that work? Living shit... What? What? Okay,
they are instinctively hardwired to either kill or be killed, and they are an unrelenting force due to this. However, just because they don't talk outwardly doesn't mean they don't communicate with one another. The true horror of the Tyranids is found in their driving force, the hive mind.
3, 2, 1.
Hot in here by Nelly.
That's what I guessed.
What?
What?
You see, the Tyranids are a collective consciousness that are all connected to a singular embodiment of psychic power that is utterly incomprehensible to the human mind. To keep this connection there, the Tyranids on the field of battle are followed around by synapse creatures, essentially serving as their Bluetooth connection to the greater hive mind. This allows them to send and receive information about the battle they're in, and it also allows them to adapt to certain situations based off of the information gained. Depending on the enemy, the swarm might be able to develop a new weapon or new tactics so they can get the upper hand. When the synapse connection is cut, they are unable to essentially form a save state and are stranded. The sheer power of the hive mind presence pours from each Tyranid in such a manner that it causes a distortion in the warp itself. A hive fleet's arrival can cause a dark shadow the size of several light years, coined the shadow in the warp. This shadow prevents any usage of the warp, or at least makes it exceptionally difficult. Communications shut down due to astropaths being unable to talk. Ships cannot freely enter the warp, and even creatures with a warp sensitivity feel an immense dread due to it.
So how would that affect the Emperor of Mankind with like him in the throne? Also, I'm just gonna say these things are really cool. They're really cool. What the hell?
It causes everything to just kind of sit dead, like at a buffet counter waiting for the afternoon meal rush. The Tyranids meander through the galaxy in these gigantic hive fleets that are fueled by bioships, and these ships contain birthing pools for Tyranid armies and more ships. Everything about the Tyranids is organic, and to fuel this war machine, the Tyranids consume any and all biomass they come across and absorb it into their respective hive. From the ground to literally the air, the Tyranids strip a planet to a lifeless and uninhabitable hulk. As a means to curb the advancement of the Tyranids, the Imperium has been known to preemptively exterminatus worlds in the path of a hive fleet so that they have less biomass to consume in an attempt to starve them. The Halo method, literally scorched earth tactics by taking everything out of the freezer and lighting it on fire. Outside of the obvious threat and adaptive and unreasonable enemy posed on the field of battle, the most dangerous aspect of the Tyranids comes in the form of their general unpredictability. The Tyranids are external to the Milky Way galaxy itself, and it's unknown where they truly hail from. However, their arrival in the Milky Way is seemingly random and in 3D space, implying quite heavily that Tyranids have the galaxy surrounded in some kind of way. Due to this...
Wait, doesn't that mean it's already game over? If they have the entire galaxy surrounded, isn't it already basically game over? They already won? Like, what? 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 Oh my god. Oh my god. Think about this. If they're already so vast in number, they have the entire, because everything else is contained in the Milky Way, right? So if they have the entirety of the Milky Way, like, surrounded in a 3-dimensional sphere, or whatever oblate spheroid that's there, it's done. That the numbers would just be too much. Like, how would anything be able to come even remotely close to that? I'm sure there's some plot armor for everybody else, but like this does seem like game over. I guess the orcs, because they keep on going, but even if the orcs are a fungi and can reproduce, these things eat organic matter. If they can strip the air of organic matter, why can't they consume the orc fungi? Like that the only thing I guess would be the Necrons, because the Necrons are completely inorganic and they're just unkillable, Terminators, basically. So that's all I'm trying to get from it. Tyranids win most fights with the orcs? I would assume so. I would assume they just eat them. Okay, alright, anyway, going back to it, sorry.
You will sometimes see instances of species engaged in a separate conflict, both agree to a temporary truce in order to take out a Tyranid threat. Because regardless of the stakes at hand, the existence of the Tyranids marks the heat death of the galaxy itself. And all the factions can ultimately agree that the Tyranids themselves act as the biggest threat to all of them. The Tyranid race is truly an unknowable horde, and pulls from that horror of the unknown. They, as a faction, are not ones with a large amount of general lore because their entire race is told from the point of view of those being eaten by them. Tyranids are called that due to the planet Tyran they destroyed, as we mentioned earlier, and their names are often phrases given to them by their victims. The Swarm Lord, Old One-Eye, the Death Leaper, Von Ryan's Leapers, and so on. Despite the inability to even perceive the vast psychic hive mind of the Tyranids, they are fiercely intelligent. Special poisons and items designed to counter them are adapted in a matter of hours. If you bring light infantry, they create heavy monsters. If you brought weapon emplacements, they spawn little creatures to scour your vents and sewers. Many of you enjoyed the Servitor excerpt from part 1, and so bear with me as I provide you another very long account of a planetary governor whose planet is in the final death throes of the Tyranid menace. This starts about halfway through. It has been many weeks since a handful of us escaped the sinking of the Seafort Divine Anchor via airlift. We have escaped in this manner because the Tyranids had overwhelmed so much of our world, they no longer appeared to need to continue spawning beasts for aerial supremacy. I shall never forget what I saw from my craft's portholes. Alien biostructures dominated Huto's surface. Gigantic, lumpen barnacles pumped out clouds of matter to further poison the planet alongside pulsating, brain-like nodes that resembled lethal fungi. Immense capillary towers stretched high into the poisoned sky. The glistening chitin coating their flanks crawled over by chains of lesser beasts fulfilling some sick alien purpose I cannot know. Digestion pools spread for miles, replacing our once great lakes with reservoirs of bubbling biomatter. Tides of creatures bloated with consumed flesh vomited their guts into the pools or threw themselves entirely into the billowous liquid. Amidst the seas of feeder beasts consuming all in their path, we would every so often see an explosion or a burst of fire. Were these heroic final stands by other survivors, or merely abandoned ordnance detonating at random? I will never know. I cannot rejoice in the deaths they inflicted. The biomatter of the dead Xenos was surely recycled by the Xenos regardless in no time at all.
At least they know how to recycle, right? Right? Yeah.
Our aircraft ran out of fuel a week ago. Now I stand in the snow, not far from the peak of Mont Saint Hila. I am the only one left that I know. One by one, those with me perished. The slightest cut on a mountain rock resulted in an immediate infection that left the pilot screaming in agony. Her co-pilot fired the shot that ended her torture, and my senior aide threw himself from a ledge, the reality that there was no escape hitting him. I have no idea what happened to my chief medicae. Others were slain by lone beasts the rest of us were unable to kill or drive away. A justly deserved end will soon be mine. I have failed on every possible level. We were not even able to send word. An alien disease has me within its grasp. My limbs are numb, my tongue is dry as sand, my head throbs. Even at these chilled heights, I sweat profusely. From here where I sit, I can see the final death unfold on the planet entrusted to me. Before me is the Radarin Ocean. The water level is visibly dropping, hour by hour. They are even taking our seas. There are enormous beasts with great, slowly flapping wings and immense open maws moving through the sky. I may be at high altitude, but the air is thinner here than it should be. I know enough of mountaineering to know that. They will not even leave our air. There is an isthmus I can see, upon which is sat one of the Xenos.
This is very grimdark, yeah.
Now I believe I can tell what they are truly for. High up, foul Xenos bioships cling to their flanks like twisted calves at their mother's udders. They are feasting, I am sure, hungrily filling themselves to burst on the hideous gruels that are what remains of my people. I have witnessed the planet's death from sinister start to hideous conclusion. I see the power of our foe, and though I have shown boundless weakness these past months, I do not see how we could ever have won. If this is any sort of good news, it seems that one thing that might be an inadvertent repellent effect on the Tyranids is chaos.
I'm sorry. They're terrifying in the coolest way. In the coolest way.
Chaos and chaotic energies offer no nourishment to the Tyranids. They cannot eat that. And the presence of rifts and warp storms work as a means to starve out the Tyranid fleet. The Tyranids, of course, are attempting to adapt to this, but it seems that even at the most primal core of the galaxy itself, Chaos agrees that these dinner guests are not welcome in any way, shape, or bioform. In the end, though, the Tyranids represent the final fears of the galaxy itself. Despite the goals to conquer the galaxy as a whole, the remainder of the universe may very well be dead and derelict space. Instead of endless worlds and solar systems, it may just be bones and ash. The tendrils of the hive mind have wrapped themselves around the galaxy, and the only thing that's guaranteed is that dinner is served. However, the Tyranids are not simply the unending hordes of bugs. Beyond the more general buffet tactics of the force of the Tyranids, the hive mind has a more secretive and dangerous means of planetary conquest in the form of something a bit more terrestrial. General upheaval and revolution. However, though the idea of a societal revolt for the good of the populace is an admirable thing, these leaders have the nefarious intent of the hive mind itself. These are the downtrodden and the oppressed, the revolutionaries to a better cause, the heralds of the Star Children. These are the
Genestellar cults? Genestellar cults? Oh, the Gene Stealer. The Gene Stealer cults.
In the sunless body of our hive, the flock of the faithful grows. We are guided by our great Father's sacred vision, protected by his loving hands. Within these holy shadows we dwell, while the impure bathe in spire-topped starlight. And what lies between those stars? What sails beyond those distant suns? Shrouded in night, born within that eternal black, our redeemers, our gods, truer than the silent, long-dead emperor, the children of the void. We hear them in our dreams, we feel them in our blood. They call and we will answer. We will rise and claim the engines of labor that have bound us in servitude. This world will burn. It will be cleansed, purified, made ready, and the heavens will deliver our reward.
So these guys are still Tyranid, though? I see you guys saying that this is true grimdark here. How bad are these guys going to be? From what we've seen of the other factions, I can't imagine things really being comparably bad.
The ground zero of a Gene Stealer cult comes in the form of the Gene Stealer itself. Deep in the depths of a planet, a Gene Stealer acts as almost an advanced recon unit for the Tyranids, and were the first Tyranid units encountered by the Imperium itself long before the first Hive Fleet made its presence known. Unlike the Tyranids that can only reproduce through the birthing pools in the fleet, a Gene Stealer reproduces via the Big Smooch. The Gene Stealer kiss is essentially what the facehugger in Alien does. It attaches to a victim and releases an embryo. However, instead of a chest burster, the embryo alters the genetic makeup of the host itself, turning it into the primary conductor of a localized version of a hive mind known as the brood mind. Any offspring that this host produces is known as a Gene Stealer hybrid, and the host assures their survival to continue to reproduce. The first few generations of a Gene Stealer hybrid look more like the Gene Stealer itself, which in our current reality would be terrifying. But considering how the vast majority of humanity is a little mutated in 40K, it doesn't stand out as much as it should. As the generations continue, the mutations and the general alien look is almost entirely phased out, and the resulting hybrids look almost identical to the species that they once were. Due to the size of most worlds, the makings of a Gene Stealer cult can exist almost entirely in secret, generation after generation. After a certain period of time, those hybrids will make their way into generalized society. Still connected to the mind of the Gene Stealer itself, the hybrids operate with the express goal of gaining power within society itself in a political and religious sense. Most of the time, they will present themselves as revolutionaries, looking for the betterment of the population. And honestly, it sounds great for a lot of the folks on the planet. By the people, for the people. As they expand more openly, the crossbreeding continues until all aspects of the planet's society is infiltrated. However, all bets are off when a hive fleet comes close enough. When a Tyranid hive fleet gets close enough to a planet, the brood mind activates essentially an endgame scenario. The once political and religious leaders become bloodthirsty fanatics that work to finalize the collapse of society and the death of those who oppose them. But to those in the brood mind, the god they believe in is coming, and this is holy justice and vindication for their religious and political beliefs. As the hive arrives, the planet is essentially ripe for the taking. The original Gene Stealer pieces out to the next world or is reabsorbed for deployment elsewhere, and the Tyranids begin to take the planet for themselves. The cultists sing praises and holy songs. The Tyranids begin to eat everything up in kind of a meet the pyro sense of
I don't even have much to say.
As they are harvested, some of them are snapped back to reality, oops, there goes gravity, before they are thrown into the biomass soup. For a fleeting second, They see that this was all a ruse to consume the world, and that their false gods were a bunch of hungry bugs. The cultists essentially put the checkerboard dining cloth on the table for them and invited them for a feast. Due to the constant redeployment of gene stealers, there are known cults that pop up across the Imperium itself. Some of the more well-known ones are the Cult of the Bladed Cog or the Rusted Claw, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different cults that keep popping up all over the galaxy.
So any planet could already be, again, the Warhammer lore, any planet could already be infected by the gene stealers. I mean, there's no way to really know until, you know, they just go, whoops, I guess let's you know, just cripple the entire structure of the planet. Tee-hee-ha-ha, whoopsie. I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Can a Custodes be infected by a gene stealer? Is that, I know they can't reproduce. I guess it wouldn't matter, right? Because the Custodes can't be reproducing anyway, so that's a moot point. I was trying to think, I was trying to think of it, like how dangerous, you guys are all telling me no in excess. I know I was wrong, I'm sorry. Like, what is the most dangerous thing a gene stealer could hijack? Like, legitimately, what is the most dangerous thing that a gene stealer could hijack in Warhammer lore? Like, could it be the orcs? Could hijacking the orcs be the most dangerous? Could hijacking, I don't know, the, I don't know. Just trying to think of what, like, Inquisitors? Space Marines? Have they infected Space Marines? A planetary governor? No, but I mean, like, not a political figure. I just mean, like, what's the most, like, dangerous thing that reproduces in Warhammer that can be affected by it? Oh, is a planetary governor an actual thing? Like, separate from a political rank? Those, there are gene stealers, space... There are? Oh, my goodness. They tried with orcs, but they were too passive, and the other orcs killed them quickly. I like that. That's really funny. Okay, all right, going back. Sorry for my theory crafting here. I'm sure the comment section below is gonna be having a field day with my comment.
As the gene stealers spread, and due to their covert means taking over the planet, they are not generally viewed to be a threat until it is far too late. And due to the know-how of gene stealers, they tend to be predatory to those in the lower classes of a given planet. The gene stealer cults overall have really come into their own, commercially and artistically. They have very much embraced the revolutionaries aesthetic and crafted a fascinating method in doing so. It's this great combination of this pseudo-Marxist Bolshevik uprising mixed with the hills have eyes in the populace. What's particularly enjoyable about their uprising is that often from their point of view, the reasons they have are extremely justified. Most of the members of the GSC are the extremely impoverished and menial laborers of the Imperium, who honestly wouldn't need an alien presence to provide a manifesto on reasons to revolt. Their weapons are all makeshift and often involve things like mining lasers, drilling saws, demolition charges, giant stop signs. Their political machinations work quite well, as the cult ends up being really good at assassination, especially when you have a third arm holding a pistol beneath all those robes. They're a faction rife with fascination and culture, and their plans are generations in the making, to the end goal of being thrown right back into the soup by the star children they prepared the world for. And those are the threats to the galaxy now. The degradation of almost every species is now behest by the Tyranid menace, and all of the infighting between each and every single one of them will be their undoing. The world of Warhammer is a bleak and horrendous one, and that is in its own right the charm. It is so large, so vast, so absolutely horrendous and insane, and yet is treated with 100% severity and seriousness. In the beginning of part 1, I gave you an abridged and different opening to the Warhammer world, the grim darkness of the far future, and I leave you with this part 2 with the full quote itself. It is the 41st millennia. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies.
Love that.
He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. Yet even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets across the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard, and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few. But for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat from aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be remembered. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Wow. Let me put on some music. Hold on. Damn. Everything, as far as the factions are concerned, is an absolute shit show. Wow. Wow. Oh man, I hope you guys had fun. I actually really, I feel like I've learned a lot. Now I'm gonna say, posture check, hydration. I actually ran out of my drink. I'm gonna get something to eat and drink in a few after we end. But god damn. So far, I will say, my 3 favorites, if I had to make an army, again, if I ever did do an army on stream with the hand cam and stuff like that, that would be a whole other can of worms down the road. But if I had to pick right now, it is a 3-way tie. You guys can tell me why I'm wrong. But top 3 are the Flayed One Necrons, the Orcs, and the Tyranids. Those are my 3 favorites. I will say, honorary mention for the Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle, really cool. And also the Rogue Traders. The Rogue Traders were also really cool. Mechanicus, I'm a Death Guard player, but lore-wise, I still don't know what that means. I didn't learn what the Alfarius is. I will also probably put up a poll in the next day or so. For the next video that we watch. So everybody, when this is all done, you could post it here or you could post it when I make the actual live video of this. Like, I'll shorten it, get rid of all the extra stuff, put it up on YouTube as a regular long form, probably tomorrow morning. But if you guys want to put it here or there, just put whatever video you think I should watch next, and I'll put like the most popular ones in a poll, and then you guys can vote. So I'm up for everything. Where everyone's a villain, everyone's cool. There's a lot of things I really like in this, like a lot of really cool facts. I do like the Sisters of Battle. And I do like the Rogue Traders. I do also like the what was it? The Imperial Inquisition? Did I say that? Is that right? The Assassins? I'm trying my best to remember specific groups. There's a lot. But I feel like I've gotten a good amount of them. The ones that stood out to me the most, though, the Tyranids are terrifying and really, really cool. The Orcs are great. Agents of the Imperium, thank you. Where do we post suggestions? I'll just post it in the comment section once this video ends. Because I think the comment section stays locked until I press end stream. And then once the stream ends, all the comment section opens up and you guys can just put all your suggestions in there. Not everyone has an army, more like special units. Okay. I still think the number one thing I want is Necron Flayed Ones in Hello Kitty parts. I don't know how I'm going to do that if I ever do, but that's currently my number one thing I like. As a fan of cybernetics, I can't not love Dude, the Mechanicus freak me out. The dark mechanic has freaked me out too, but the mechanic has freaked me out, man. DM you an example of what Tyranid artillery is? I'll have to check. Give me a second. Let me go look at what the Tyranid artillery is. I love that. Thank you, Pen. I love that. What's also cool, Warhammer food brought to you by today's sponsor, Corpse Starch. Are you a worker in a hive city and need to avoid starvation? Why not try Corpse Starch? I have 2 armies, World Eaters and Space... Not the Space Wolves! No. I think it's called kit bashing. There's also 3D printing. I'll have to look into it. If I ever do it. Like, we're nowhere near the stage of having an army. We're still tiptoeing in the water of the Warhammer world. Let's not jump miles ahead. Look. Like I said to you guys before, I'm really hoping that the next stream will have memberships so you guys can have emotes and all this other cool stuff, because I'd love for you guys to be able to spam my emotes in chat. I think that'd be kind of neat, kind of be cool if I can get YouTube partner. So fingers crossed they get back to me and say, hey, you're cool enough to be a partner. Yeah. So I'm really hoping. We'll definitely stream another Let me explain. Sorry. Tomorrow will definitely be on Twitch. And Monday and Tuesday are always Twitch days as well. I'm now doing more YouTube because you guys seem to be really prevalent here. If you guys want regular, normal game content and playing other stuff too, you can follow me over on Twitch. If Pen can put a link up for that. In addition to that, I will definitely be back on YouTube for streaming on Wednesday. So the problem is that the community over there is not the kindest to me. I am a partner over there as well, but I am a partner over on Twitch, and I do have, I do have a foundation over there. The difference is when you go over to the other sites, you leave your audience behind. So if I went over there, I lose the bulk of my community. Do I put suggestions? No, just put the suggestions in the comment section when this is done. So, yeah, so I'm already a partner over on Twitch. So, I already have a community over there. Have a good day, y'all. Farewell. Take it easy, Where. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all you guys. It was really fun getting to watch this with you guys. Again, I'll have a poll up soon, and then we'll figure out what the next Warhammer video will be. But I like I said, you guys have been nothing but kind. Some of you guys have already come over to Twitch. I remember FM Masochism already came over to Twitch and said hello. It was really great to see somebody I recognize from this chat. I recognize your names. So I know your names in here. I've seen the people who are repeat viewers now, which is cool. I love having a community on YouTube now. So hopefully we keep on streaming on here a bit. If it maintains the way it is, I will focus very heavily on here. If it keeps on maintaining with the support you guys have been giving over here, I will absolutely stay on here. But needless to say, thank you guys so much. I am going to wrap up here. I'm going to go have some dinner. I'm going to make myself something to drink. I'm very thirsty. If it turns out yelling at a screen will do that to you. But I will be posting my shorts tonight and every other day. I always post on YouTube. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me elsewhere, all my socials are around. I love and appreciate you guys. It was really fun. You guys have been a wonderful community, and I'm really grateful that you've been so kind to me. So I love and appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. Hopefully next stream we get a Celebrate partner. Obviously I have to wait and find out, but fingers crossed for me, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, take it easy. Bye.